Go now. Go, Paul. Say what
Yeah.
you're gonna say.
I was just telling Shadowhawk I followed him on X yesterday after our discussion about comic reviews.
Ah, what was the what about comic reviews?
There were questions about whether you could send out digital review copies or whether
Ah,
they had to be paper review copies, and
I
well,
think
is it dangerous to send out a digital review copy because somebody might pirate it? And I'm like, yeah,
yeah,
but if you trust the people, are they really gonna?
Right.
I mean,
yeah, I would almost say like if it's printed and you want like because part of it is the reading experience, and
yeah,
so if you intend for something to be flipped through, because like you can design your pages to like a lot of people don't think about this, but a lot of times like if you like you can design your pages to where the shock is here, right? Yeah,
I have
like
that book.
you
yeah.
can
No,
design your
Yeah.
pages to where these two pages work together, or there's like a surprise here because you won't see it if you initially flip through.
A
Yeah, like
cover flip.
yeah,
Yeah.
like
Reveal.
even the
Uh-huh.
yeah,
yeah,
A
like
page
like an
reveal. Yeah.
inside page versus a facing page is like that's part of the that's the design of the book. You don't,
yeah.
Yeah, you got to pace it out. I've got a few. I've got the Dirty Joe is like that. So wait, wait, whoa, 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 whoa! Don't pass that greatness. Show
no.
people that book because most
Oh,
people haven't
right here.
seen
Yeah.
that book. They don't even know it exists. That's Hall of Heroes, Bog
Yeah,
Swamp
yeah,
Demon
and this is
from
so
Big Bang
I was saying
Comics.
in the green
Yeah.
room, I was holding off on even looking at this because I have
Okay.
to get the other three issues. This is four of four here, but
Right. There's four, and actually, there's a Ethan Van Sciver #1 variant cover,
oh, you know what? Maybe
and I've
yeah,
got a
maybe
couple of
that's
those. Yeah.
why I've seen like some of them spike in price because like I've seen
Yeah.
the issue one of this kind of goes between no joke like between $5 and about 90. But I never tracked why.
Yeah, I mean, look, it's so obscure. People can ask what they want. It's got Jim Starlin's Doctor
Yeah,
Weird there on the inside back front cover. Uh, Hall of Heroes very limited in print run. Uh, #4, I had to order from the
no
UK
way.
to get a
Oh,
copy. Yeah, yeah. What you're holding in your hands right there, I had to get on eBay
that's
from
crazy.
the
Yeah,
UK.
and I love here. Like
Yeah,
look at the
there.
rollout though between March, April, May, June, August, October, November. Like in 1 year.
I think one of I think one of my Ethan Van Scivers has has a
Sweet. Yeah.
signature on it.
Yeah, I think
Uh,
one of my I think my salamander, like right here, the Holy Heroes Zero, which is the first appearance of
yeah,
salamander. I bought that in a dollar bin. And I'm pretty sure like I even did a video on it. Didn't realize it was like it's signed like here and you can't even like see it. Because like even like and people forget this. There was a time where
who signed it?
yeah. It's
Ethan.
it's an EVS. But there
Okay.
also was a time where if you gave a creator a comic, they signed they signed the first page.
Yeah,
And now
on the
everything's
splash
about
page.
signing on the cover because people have to get it.
Yep. Stan Lee, Jack Kirby signed a lot of those things. I just saw one online that was signed by Neil
Oh,
Adams there
sweet.
on the splash
Uh,
page.
but yeah, and
Mhm.
I bought like recently. I bought a bunch of Ron Lim comics. One of them had like I bought this big lot of 100 Silver Surfer comics, and that one of those is signed by him. I have like a Jay Lee one. Like I have all of these. I have George Perez, John Byrne, and they're all like dollar store, like
Yeah.
dollar box bin diving, and
Well, a lot of people don't know that I bought a Salamandroid for the one with the Salamandroid cover for like $145 on eBay. And it was slabbed. I think it's an 8.0, but if I got it if I got it pressed, it would grade higher. It wasn't pressed, and there's bins and stuff in it. So that was a pretty sweet pickup, even after Salamandroid becoming popular. But now a lot of people don't know that there's a Trent Kanuga cover out there with a same and the ad on the back has Salamandroid. It had variant covers, and there's one called Slingers, which is a neat cover. And I won one on eBay for $7.50, and they're like, "We can't find it. We'll refund your money." I think maybe they saw that it was worth more than what I got.
That's happened to me a few times where and you know what?
Yeah.
Whatever. Like I don't. It's the sellers gotta make their money. I get it. Like fair is fair. But I'm like back when I was really heavy into eBay, I did that a few times, and I still shipped it out because fair. From my perspective, fair is fair, and sometimes you gotta be better with stuff like that.
Yeah.
But and right, this is your bog right here. By the way. Yeah.
Oh, I know. Yeah. I know. You were doing all our characters.
On
stream on Omer stream, and you were doing my bog there character.
We're just about we're just about done here. I just got to do.
He's a lot of fun.
It's like it's the there's a lot of cheating because you can do the foliage, you can do all the little branch chunks and the little vines. Like this allows for a lot of error because
Oh yeah. He's a lot of
but
Paul, how the hell you been?
I'm doing great, man. I was telling Acapad that that's one of the best versions of that character I've ever seen.
Yeah, he makes
really good.
He makes a beefy thing, for sure. Paul Monsky's indie over on Indie Planet. Tell us about this.
Well, I got my old books, the 3 from Va-Va-Va-Voom, 3 Va-Va-Va-Voom issues, and then there's also 46th and Gone. I don't know. The link worked for me. It should bring up the covers and information for all those pages. I don't know how it works. If you type in Monsky in the search box and then hit search, it should show up.
Okay, it's got Monsky sort of / or something like that in there now. Let me just already put in there. I don't know if it'll go anywhere. Let's see.
Take away the slash. Take away the slash.
Take away the slash. Okay. Do a search.
Because that always works for me.
There we
That's
go.
how I find the stuff.
There we go. So it was putting in a slash for some reason. But wow, look at those covers.
Yeah.
Let me see.
Great logo.
Yeah, that's Ed Coots. He did all those covers. He's out of New York. But he's kind of my buddy. He and I worked together for a long time now. Those 3 issues of Va-Va-Va-Voom, I think, came out in the early 2000s.
46th and Gone, though, is your most recent,
46th
right?
and Gone's my most recent. Although I've got another one getting ready to go to. It's waiting on lettering to finish up, and then it'll be ready to go to Kablam too.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, sweet. And how is Kablam? Are they? I guess like you favor them if you're.
Well, I mean, I've used them. When I did the Va-Va-Va-Voom issues back in 2003, 2008, through that time frame, they were kind of one of the only games in town for low print run.
Yeah.
Kind of get it done yourself and not have to have 2,000 copies printed. And so I had an account with them, and they have this, storefront that if you print through them, it's print on demand. So if you print for them, you can offer it for sale on Indie Planet. And make a little bit of profit on each book, depending on what you sell it for. And
yeah,
so
cool.
I like it just because it gives me a store to sell it from.
Yeah,
without having to have my own, creating my own Shopify site or something.
And how like, are you getting sales? Is it like worthwhile to even?
Every now and then, it depends on whether I really plug it or not. Back 15 years ago when I started, I got a decent number of sales through Indie Planet, but I sell a couple times a year. I sell a Vavoom book now because I never.
There's so much to look at over there on Indie Planet, though, isn't there? That you kind of get lost in the shuffle.
Well, especially if it's an older book. I mean, some of those 3 of those are 15 years old or whatever, almost 20 years old.
Wow.
So, but I really haven't pushed Smoking or 46 and Gone yet at all. So, I'm not really seeing any sales in that other than when I go to a comic book show, I've sold some copies. But that was all recycled material anyway. I just had it colored and relettered.
Yeah. Well, that's smart. Yeah. Yeah.
Peter, you brought up something that's or alluded to something interesting, is that like on that Bog book, which is Hall of Heroes, which mid-90s book, early 90s book, and then a lot of that went to Harris, like Cyberfrog and stuff. And the Trent Kanuga, Creed, and I didn't see any of that back in the day, but I saw it in like on eBay, knew it was independent, look interesting, and I collected a lot of those. And for some reason, Cyberfrog, before I even knew that Cyberfrog was relaunched with Bloodhoney, was more expensive than others. Not always. I bought some Cyberfrog since it's become hot. Walt Simonson did a Harris cover. I think Shadowhawk was showing that the other day.
Simonson, Dane Fraga.
Dan Fraga did one,
yeah, were alternate covers. There's there's one that's rare that might have been like a holiday convention cover, and I don't think EVS worked on it, but I know it's another like good name that was on that, and I'm kind of like escaping.
Was it Cyberfrog?
Yeah, it was Cyberfrog. Yeah. There's also like the clay model cover. I don't know if you've ever seen that. Where it's like claymation, but it's like a model.
Yeah. Don Chen did one like that with his radioactive black belt hamsters or whatever.
Yeah, and I think there was like a couple of Detective Comic covers, right? Like with that same guy.
Yeah. They were doing variants, and they're all obscure, low print. I don't care. The most, the one they printed the most is still going to be really low print and hard to find,
Yeah, and but
that's why I love to collect that stuff. Not only is it rare, I didn't expect Cyberfrog or any of the others to be really worth anything over time. But now, like Creed, a popular at the time, things come and go. I was talking with Jay Krager about Grips, which was obscure from like Silverline or Greater Mercury, and those are two lines that are just really obscure. Grips was already placed at my local comic book shop behind up on the thing. They were going for $10, like number one, straight out of the gate.
Yeah,
and they were kind of billing it as more of a graphic, violent Wolverine at the time because he had the claws and stuff.
It was almost like
early Tim Vigil stuff.
Yeah, and I have a video coming up talking about the term outlaw comic, which like Grips kind of like falls into the outlaw comic. Faust falls into outlaw, like James O'Barr. Crow does, but people like that genre now is a little bit of a it's a topic for sure.
Hey, Anna joining us says she goes to sleep over there in France. Bonjour.
Oh, wow. France.
Oh, see, I didn't hear the bloop. So good thing you can put in the private chat that Omer Glitch is in the house.
Yeah.
Hey, hey, Omer.
Hello.
Oh, he's got the naughty bits.
Now,
Look
see,
at that.
that's the kind of artwork that I always follow. Y'all are talking about Harris Comics. The only Harris comic I ever remember reading was Vampirella.
Yeah. Yeah,
Well-
and some of those Vampirellas had Adam Hughes covers.
Yeah. Lewis Small did a lot of work on those.
I'm trying to get a little sketch work practice in and doing ballpoint pen stuff. People really like the ballpoint pen nonsense. It's nonsense.
Well, you know, that's how George
make
P.
comics this way,
Gaddis
too.
that drew Midnight for me. That's what he uses to draw with, and then he inks over that. It's amazing.
It is amazing. It's amazing.
Well, it's amazing that he doesn't use pencil that can be erased, you know.
Yeah.
Well, Paul, you got your project over on Fund My Comic, and here it is. Tantalizing.
Oh, he definitely likes the babes. Yeah, hell.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. That's a Bill Black cover on the right. Who did the one on the left, the painting?
Ed Coots, the same person who
Coots,
did
okay.
the other covers for me.
And tell us a little
Ed
bit about
Coochie
Ed
Coots?
Coots. I imagine people haven't heard about Bill Black, although we've been trying to inform about him. A very indie person from the early, well, I guess late 60s up to.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You
I'm not familiar with Bill. So yeah. And
He did AC Comics. You've seen AC Comics?
yeah.
Yeah.
Just what? Yeah, wanted to.
Bill's the creative force that started FemForce. The FemForce comic.
Oh,
That's been running for the last 40 years, 40
yeah, it's
plus
been
years.
40
Let's take a look at the
years,
trailer.
is he?
Love
You know,
FemForce.
like there's like a
Go ahead, Peter.
Oh no,
Cut him
I'm
off,
gonna
Rex.
say,
Cut him off.
Is there an AC comic? There's like a documentary, right?
There
Okay.
is now, yeah. There's a guy did a documentary on him that you can get off Amazon.
Yeah,
Um,
and is that him? Is that him in the documentary, or is that
Yeah,
someone?
it's about Bill Black. Yeah, the documentary
Okay.
is about Bill Black. I think it's called Strange Luck.
Okay,
Strange Luck: The Tale of Bill Black and Comics, or something like that.
Aren't all of AC Comics up on Indie Planet? Can't you buy all the FemForce?
No, well, AC
No.
Comics. No, you can't get them on Indie Planet. They are on AC
You
Comics.
can't get them on eBay. They're so obscure.
ACComics.com has a lot of their back issues.
Yeah, that's the best
but,
way to get them.
For years, and the ones, a lot of the ones are still at cover price from the 90s. I mean, if they have a decent number in stock,
I remember in the early 2000s, like all the FemForce issues were on Indie Planet for a while. Is that right? Am I remembering that correctly?
I don't remember that. I don't remember them ever being on Indie Planet. They've always had sales through their website
Okay.
of their
I could have
stuff.
swore there was some connection with Indie Planet and the FemForce teams. Because I had them all bookmarked and I wanted to buy them because they were at cover price basically. You like this one? Okay.
Yeah, I don't. They've always printed in house, so they wouldn't have used Kablam. I mean, unless it was something special that they did with Kablam at
Oh,
some
okay.
point.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah.
I ordered
Just
a
curious.
One of the
and from Bill, and I had to wait on it, and he wrote me a nice letter. He said, "Thanks for waiting," and I bought it off his eBay because he's on eBay. He's got an eBay site. What's his eBay site called?
Red Mask.
Red Mask, which he's a big
How
proponent
dear?
of the old.
Drop
Grew
it
up
in the
on
chat.
those old westerns, old sci-fi stuff from the 50s. I think I told you and showed you at one time, I've got a picture of him when he's a kid on a stoop with a comic, and he's got it signed, and I bought it on eBay. A picture of him. Don't know where it come from, but it's a picture of him as a kid with a comic on his probably house stoop. And it was personalized to somebody. That's the only thing I hate about it, but it's still Bill Black's signature. But I'm not hurting for his signature. I've got over 80 of his signatures.
80 of them.
Nice.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hail the
Bill
Master
doesn't-
Mod
Bill
Hell
doesn't-
here in the chat. Hail.
Yeah,
Master
Bill
Mod
doesn't
Hell
mind
here.
signing stuff. Bill doesn't mind signing stuff at all.
No, I really think, but this was back in 2014, 2015 that I was really buying heavily from his site on eBay when he didn't have a lot up there. Now he does. And some of the stuff that I bought for like $75, he's got on there for like 25 now or lower. Depends, what it is.
Well, he's made DVDs. He's made movies with his characters. He's like a film producer too.
Oh yeah.
He's something. He's amazing.
And just stuff he watched as a kid, he repackages and puts out. He put out Mysterious Island.
Yeah. You can get his stuff. If you go to eBay and type in Red Mask as a seller, it'll list tons of stuff that he's got for sale.
Tons of stuff. Yeah.
Question:
like what Windsor Newton number 4, aka pad?
It's long number 3.
He put out Black Hawk with Kirk Allen, who also played Superman.
I used to see that at the bootleg rack.
Signed by Bill Black there.
I forget that Black Hawk had a live action.
I bought a movie reel of episode 5 and 6 on a movie reel of his. It had Bill Black's name on it 3 times and his address on there 3 times.
Nice.
Yeah.
He's almost like the guy from Troma. Like Charlie or Kaufman from Troma Films, where they're just like, just always pushing, always just like doing stuff.
Rex, show that Night Vale one again, Rex.
Yeah, Night Vale. Interesting story about Night Vale. I think you told a little bit of that last time you were on about the history of Night Vale.
Yeah, that's the first movie he made. He was probably already 60 something at that point.
Man, that's awesome.
Oh, this is the first movie he made?
Well, that's the first Night Vale movie that he made.
Oh,
that's
the first Night Vale.
That's the first Night Vale movie, and that's the first one that he put out on DVD, I think.
Well, wait. So, where is he now? Does he stream? Is he what's?
He's got a YouTube site, but he really doesn't add to stuff. He puts trailers for his movies up on it.
Man, he's into cosplay from the beginning, huh?
Yeah, kind. Yeah,
hey,
kind of like
Bill was some of the first cosplayers were cosplaying FemForce characters back in the 80s at
How do you say
San
that?
Diego.
Nyoka?
Nyoka, yeah.
Wow, that stuff's cool.
Yep. And it's
he was in the film studies department at Florida State University back in the 60s. And so he was, making films on 16 millimeter or whatever it was.
That kind of sounds familiar because I did see, I want to say I watched that documentary, but I really didn't retain anything from it. I got to do another pass.
Storm Tempest. Is it going to be like movie night at Rex's house every Friday for the next 6 months?
Yeah.
Could be.
A lot of those characters he's either used in his comic books or he created them and uses them in his comic books. So, Stormy Tempest is one of his original characters, and Night Vale's one of his original characters. But Nyoka, he's used Nyoka in AC Comics. They've used Nyoka in AC Comics books.
Well, I would imagine they're all his original characters, unless they're
they're either public. Some of them are old public domain characters that he's used in the comic books, and then they had old serials, so he put out the serials with Nyoka, for instance.
And he puts out some of the old serials
Then he did new Nyoka movies too. So, yeah,
that's dope. Is this guy rich or what? Is he like a?
No, not hardly. He's just. I don't know if he ever sleeps. He's creative as heck. But he's got to be. He's 80. He's 85 years old now.
This is what Pete's gonna end up being like. He's gonna be like this guy.
Oh my god! Don't say that.
Pete's neurotic, man. Pete doesn't stop. He just keeps going. He doesn't sleep. He doesn't even eat. He works out.
He's 80-something. He's 80-something years old. He's scripting some FemForce comic books. He's still inking FemForce comic books, and he's making movies. He's 80-something years old.
That's awesome.
But his idols were like Russ Meyer and Corman and people like that. So the movies are cheesy, fun, entertaining, but they're not high cinema.
Yeah, of course. Yeah,
they're not going to win any awards anytime soon.
Is there a FemForce XXX version?
There is not. He's
good.
FemForce has always been a PG-13 book. People don't realize that, but
it just caters to like the fantasy element of the busty girls, not the
exactly,
not the X-rated version of that.
Well, I also feel like there's like a certain comic, like the same collector that buys like FemForce are the guys that would buy like, like all the variants of like Avatar Press and Chaos Comics, and because they would kind of do these like nude and semi-nude variants that were like Diamond Special Order, and like it's the same type of like crowd that kind of like people like well-drawn women. There is a market for it.
Yeah, no, I mean, the same. I've been a FemForce fan since 1985, so I was there at the beginning, and what do I like? I like Adam Hughes. I like Jungle Book comics.
Here we go.
Wait! You're a typical man.
Exactly.
Yeah. Like real quick, so like I guess now that we're getting into this, how do we describe like AC Comics? How do we describe FemForce in like the realm of comic book like history? Like even if it falls like on the indie side, like how do we define that as a like company?
Well, AC is one of the first.
He was Paragon, right? Paragon Press.
He was Paragon. He did prozines. So he'd have aspiring pros would submit artwork. He'd have his own stories.
Frank Frazetta did a cover or two for
him,
right?
did stuff. Steranko did stuff.
Or Jim Steranko,
but also people who later went on to be in comic. Bob McClaw did a lot of stuff for Paragon.
Oh, the inker.
Wouldn't FemForce be categorized as like the good girl, bad girl, babe comics?
FemForce would be good girl art,
right?
And they actually cheesy, more cheesecake. There you go. More cheesecake, more of that 50s pinup style, like Elvgren and Vargas, that kind of.
Which would have been the comics that he liked as a kid, right?
As a kid, exactly.
On him, yeah.
So I remember seeing FemForce, like maybe I have like 2 or 3 copies from dollar bins in the 2000s, and then I looked for them online, and I other than that, I never ever saw anything about them other than when I looked them up online, and those 2 or 3 copies that I got in the dollar bin.
They're
totally random. Yeah. I never saw them anywhere else though. Ever.
For a lot of years, basically once the direct market started, they were there at the beginning of the direct market, and for the first 5-6 years that they published, you could find them on a store shelf.
Yeah, I've seen them I've seen them ordered. I've seen them I've seen.
But eventually they're in the back section of previews. They're back in the. I don't know if it's still this way. I haven't had previews in years, but they were in the green section.
Yeah, and that's a little bit of what I was like referencing before. Where
and so comic book shops would order them for people who had them on their pull list, but they'd almost, they might order 1 or 2 shelf copies, and that would be it.
Right.
And then, Diamond has so many problems with orders getting mangled and distribution and stuff just not showing up. And so, there were times when I would have to go to AC because my comic book shop didn't get my copy that month. And I'd have to go buy it from AC directly. So they print in house, and they usually only print like a couple hundred extra from what the orders were through Diamond. So there's not a, if the orders weren't that high, there's not a lot of them floating around.
Is there like an aftermarket for someone? Because like you sound like this sounds like collectible gold, and like yeah.
Is there a market for Hall of Heroes? Yeah, because Cyberfrog is not dead. FemForce has never died. They printed in the early 80s the Charlton characters there for a minute. Had the Sentinels of Liberty. Captain Paragon was the thing. I was buying those fresh off the stands. Fortunately, I had a good comic book shop after I closed mine up that carried alternative stuff like that perhaps if my shop was still running, I may not have even seen or ordered myself.
Yeah, I can tell you a little story about the back market. So I have copies of some of the FemForce books I wrote stories in. This would have been early 2000s, and I was doing some work with them. And those books for FemForce fans, like I have issue 119, I could probably get $50 from a FemForce fan for that book.
Yeah, so there's like a dedicated
well, it's like you were saying, Peter. You've seen a wide gap with the Bog book or some of those Hall of Heroes. So that's because no one has them listed, and you determine what's worth. You can ask what you want.
Yeah.
Now
you may not get it, but for an obscure book like that.
So I'm saying that because I know FemForce fans that have offered me that kind of money for certain issues that I've done.
Yeah.
But
I have the cover. I have cover artwork to one of the FemForce issues, and I can't find it to go with the cover artwork. I've got the cover artwork, which is rarer than the book, but I can't find the book to go with the cover artwork. It's so rare.
So I was at a show last year, and Mile High had people there who were like, "Bring us your comics, and we'll offer you money for your comic books, and we'll quote you a price and all that kind of stuff." So I took a couple of those FemForce issues over to them, and they wouldn't take them because they had no comps to know what they should be giving me. So there is a back market for it, but it's not through like Mile High or anybody like that because they don't have any copies of them. Because they don't know what to charge for them because that's not their. They just have no clue.
I just remember back, during my comic shop days, like there definitely was like a segment of the readership that, who's like Jim, the guy that used to draw Catwoman, like
Balin, Jim Balin.
Yeah, he's got those like witches, like TNA.
Tarot, yeah.
Yeah, Tarot, yeah. And all the same guys bought, like, you could just, like, pick out their books before they showed up, and, you would know, like, what they would want. But that's, like, it's phenomenal that it's not, like, if FemForce isn't, like, listed in Mile High, that's crazy to me.
Yeah.
Because it is comic history at this point. Like, it's a significant independent company.
So it is the only one of the original direct market publishers that's still publishing and has never stopped publishing.
Yeah, that's significant. I mean, I feel like we got to change that. Like, that's crazy.
And Bill Black put out a book, because I have it, on Paragon, the Paragon years. So if you want to know about an early independent guy that.
Yeah, that's before the direct market. That was mail order.
Yeah, really. I mean, he and Chuck Rosansky and Bill Bud Plant catalogs, or for the toys, Joe Kubert did artwork for that Heroes catalog. You probably saw some of those. With all the toys that came out.
Yeah, Bill, that Paragon, Bill used to put ads in like, other people's comic books for his prozines, and it would just have like a mailing address and send me
Yeah.
money and I'll send you the book, you know.
And a lot of people would see that and just kind of gloss over it and ignore it, but some people would order from it, you know.
Yeah.
I can't put like it. Yeah, I'm like kind of just really thinking about this now. Like, is there any like third party that tracks everything that he puts out? Is there like a central like database or anything that like tracks it, that we know like what this guy did in 80 something years?
Are you volunteering?
I don't know that. I don't know that there's. I don't know that there's anybody who can. I don't know. There's a FemForce Super Babes Facebook group, and some of those people have that kind of information.
It's like I kind of would get. There's a couple guys from like the Wildstorm Facebook group that I still chat with that are like they have their own database, and I'll shoot them questions from time to time, and it's amazing what they catalog. You know, and
I mean, the thing is, Bill's on he's on the FemForce Super Babes group.
Yeah, I mean, maybe
he answers questions there all the time.
Really easily accessible. I mean, Bill Black is.
Yeah, you know, he like I said, he probably posts as much on that FemForce group as anybody.
Yeah.
And Paul, a former writer of FemForce, has his own Fun My Comic. Let's take a look. Oh, very nice.
La la.
Hey, Suicide Rumba.
Ay caramba.
Ay caramba.
Peril.
Ándale.
Mira la muchacha. Ay, el león. 5 stories for everyone to enjoy. Alina Aguilar, Almazan.
Most people don't know it, but that's Paul playing that music.
Oh, you play the guitarra muy bien, Paul. Recognizing adventures. Boom! Orale!
I mean, look at that logo, that silhouette there of the breast, even with the nipple.
Looks yummy. Looks yummy.
Hey, I made that myself, man.
Well, you did an excellent job.
You know, I'm the non-artist. That's my logo. I'm taking credit for it.
Okay, there you go. I mean,
You have muchísimo talent, sir. Muchísimo.
Mucho tantalizo, you know.
Yeah.
Mucho dinero en las manos.
Yeah. So, but that's
Woody
Bill did Jungle Girl comics, and he had a Jungle Girl in his FemForce group, and I mean, so he basically hooked me on Jungle Girls, and so the first, you know, I put that out because it's like, well, I can just tell Jungle Girl character stories.
Hail Apex, did you get your package, sir? I sent it out.
And haven't you fulfilled? I mean, the book is
done,
it's
already
right?
it's been done for a couple of years now.
Yeah.
I mean, not a couple of years, a year and a half. About a year and a half. I've been sending them out for a year and a half. I sell them at shows. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, 92 pages.
Wow.
Good Lord. That's awesome.
That's a big one.
But 5 different stories.
5 stories, 92 pages. I think the longest story is 30 something.
Who did the artwork on all those? And you wrote everything, right?
I wrote them all, and they're all the same character. Artwork depended. Ed Coots did a lot of the artwork. Bobby Ragland, who draws for FemForce, he did one of the stories.
Hey, Jonas.
And Rob Jones, who used to apprentice for Dick Giordano, he did one of the stories.
Yeah, that sounds familiar.
Yeah. So, yeah. Rudy Nebres actually penciled one of the stories.
Oh,
Wow.
sweet. Rudy.
He's got to be getting up there in age, right?
Well, he is.
Himself.
I mean, he penciled that story back in 2006, I want to say.
Mm-hmm.
So it's been, he was in his 70s then, so he's got to be in his 90s now.
Wow. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. Yeah. I got lucky with Ed and Rudy know each other because they're from the same area, roughly.
Mhm.
Rudy's from New Jersey, which to Ed is South Jersey, but Ed's from Manhattan, so they used to see each other at shows all the time, so they were friendly.
North is not. Heck, South isn't South Jersey.
Yeah. I mean, Ed considers Newark South Jersey. I mean, it's just
that's like New York 2.0.
Yeah,
for us.
Yeah, it's funny. He'll be like, upstate is like 30 miles north of New York City. If he has if he can't take the commuter rail there, it's upstate. So
Peter Acapad there, he's in Philadelphia, correct?
Yeah.
Oh, you're in Philly?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, in Philly.
PA boy in the house.
And from New Jersey, though. Yeah, I grew up in Jersey.
Huh.
So.
Even that can be forgiven.
I did a show in Harrisburg. Last fall, and had a lot of Philadelphia people come over for that.
Yeah, there's a community here for sure. Like even for the indie books, like the very underground books. There's a couple pros floating around too that they kind of reach out to me from time to time.
The problem with the Philly shows is they're so expensive that I don't. I mean, the big guys seem to do the Philly shows in Philadelphia, and to make the money for the convention center, it's like $400 for an Artist Alley table. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, and but people show up, and Philly has at the convention center, there's nothing but hotels, so people come for like a whole week for these comic shows, and even the convention will run things like a day or two before, a day or two after. And like the whole city. I think there's one Comic Con, there's Philly Fest, and I think there's like PAX comes here, and I'm trying geek culture one. Like there's like
I saw something called like Geek Con or something like that.
Yeah, and that's the one that gets all the like celebrities for like if you want a picture from the guy that was in 2 episodes of like Smallville. You can get over that guy or stuff like that, Not comic book stuff in my view, though,
Yeah,
I'm not.
I used to back in the 2000s. I did a lot of Pittsburgh Comic-Con shows, and the table cost was reasonable. It was like $80 for an Artist Alley table, and
oh yeah,
I'd go with Ed. And Ed would sell. He could sell couple con sketches and make back the table price,
but some of those larger cons, don't they run like 400-500 or more?
Yeah, that's the thing. Well, but now even like everything costs now the little bitty one day shows cost $80 for a table. I mean it's really
it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
And then.
Shadowhawk says, Omer, I'm still waiting, starting to get worried. Hope it didn't get lost in the mail, basically. And Elsie, I'm still waiting on the Doctor Who hoodie you sent. We're got to track that thing down. Yeah, I'm serious. I'd be wearing it right now if I.
I'll send you the tracking, Shadow.
It's not showed up yet. Nope. And I checked today.
We'll find out what's up.
Yeah. What you got there, Elsie?
Oh, it's just a comic book. One of the first horror comics. Of course, it's not one of the ones that it's way before they reprinted them.
Right.
It's the first one. And I'd gotten
a lot of times they'd change the cover, and sometimes, most of the time, they wouldn't.
Yeah.
This
one doesn't even date in it, bro.
Oh, It's probably dated. It's probably 1940 something in there somewhere.
Yeah,
Not where it's
you
not
got to
where it
dig around
usually is.
for the date for some of those. Yeah.
Because
Well, now there are some comics that I do have, and maybe some independent stuff, and I don't even see a copyright put in there. You know,
Yeah.
it's rare and far between, but you don't know when it was made. And same thing with Australian comic books. They don't have anything like that in there. In fact, that's how I kind of met Bill Black online, Paul. I think I told you about it. I bought a Doll Man Australian comic out of his collection, and it came to me somewhat damaged. And I was like, I'm not happy with that. And he was like, and I noticed it was Bill Black. I said, "Oh, Bill, I know who you are. Don't worry about it, buddy. Everything's great." You know, and ordered a lot more from him. You know, it's just, I recognized his name, you know, because I did read his Captain Paragon and Sentinels of Liberty, all that, you know, old Charlton characters he was bringing back in the early 80s, and even have like, you know, the Fun Comics magazine size ones he did, and even have the cover artwork that was going to be the cover artwork done, I guess, by him. I don't know. It's very small. It wasn't used for like issue 5, the unused artwork. And then I also have a Shade, his character Shade #1 cover that he did that they didn't go with. And actually, I think it's the better cover than the one they actually went with and printed. I wish they would have used his, you know.
Oh.
And you were saying Gorby, I've got like it's on thin vellum, you know, like tracing paper, but it's Catman and Kitten redesigned. He looks more like Frank Frazzetta's Jaguar God character, you know, the way he's designed out.
Yeah, but I don't know. I kind of like the old Catman and Kitten costumes. They
you know, Devil Flyer was, you know, it's public domain. He was on a cover standing right next to Blue Beetle. Catman and Kitten were there on that cover because it had a lot of characters around, and it had Man of War, who's another public domain character as well. So I was honored to get on, you know, and I paid to be on there with my characters. But I was honored that my character was placed right there by Blue Beetle. They couldn't use the name Blue Beetle because DC owns it. They called him Blue Scarab.
Yeah.
Still serviceable, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've seen people.
Kind of like the original Daredevil. You know, they had to call him, I think Bill Black called him Red Devil.
Yeah.
Dynamite and Alex Ross in that Superpowers project. Who's
the Death-Defying Devil? They called him the Death. They called him the Death-Defying Devil. Yeah.
Death-Defying Devil. Yeah. Wow. One of the longest titles.
What did Rainey Bowen call it when he did the statue?
That's a statue of Red Devil. That was licensed through AC.
Oh, that's a licensed statue. Okay. That's cool.
Yeah.
That's a great
so that's how they got that's how he was able to do a Golden Age Daredevil statue, because he licensed Red Devil from AC.
And renamed him. Right. And he had the Claw character in there as well, didn't he? From Daredevil.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember. Yeah, because like that's kind of where the Marvel license was dwindling, and Bowen was just kind of doing I'm trying to remember like some of his like outside statues, but
you don't have that Captain America.
Well, they also had a little they had a mini statue of AC's character, the Haunted Horseman.
Maybe that's what I'm trying to think.
This is the first Marvel porcelain that they came out with in 1990, if I'm not mistaken. Captain America got a real flag there with a dowel. I mean, on his shield there. Very simply done, but this was the first porcelain in 1990 that they released.
So, and that was a part of a series that was Punisher, Wolverine, Spider-Man, and then the rare one is Silver Surfer of that series. The Surfer one is really tough to find.
Okay, Pop.
What up, K-pop?
How many?
Yeah.
2,500 or no 7,500 limited edition? Okay.
Yeah, that's what it says.
Yeah, hold up here. I can grab the surfer.
Yeah.
And the date, you were correct.
I remember. Yeah. I gave him
Yeah,
that, so I know.
The Haunted Horseman mini that
I don't
Bowen did.
remember where I got
I think it was Bowen. That's actually the old Ghost Rider character from Magazine Enterprise.
Yeah, and then this is Surfer.
Wow.
Now, did that come out in 90 in that same series?
93, yeah.
93 afterwards. Okay.
Same series, yeah. And this came with a black. It was like a black wooden base.
Yeah,
That's
but
cool.
this is first like 3D Silver Surfer. Like ever.
That's
pretty
neat.
cool.
I have not
really
seen that
cool.
before. And that's the
And-
rare one, huh?
Yeah, and this is based on Ron Lim. So
Are they numbered?
yeah, this is 88 288 of 1,500. 15,000, sorry.
So they made a
You
lot of
remember
those.
this, don't you, Rex?
Yeah. But here's the thing. So I was working at my local comic shop when these came out. And
Really?
a lot of these they not only came broken, but they the chrome was like chipped off of them. So
Yeah.
I had paid for one and we shipped them all back, and I went to a rival comic shop to get this one. And I was like a kid at this time. But I even then had to go through like hell and high water just to like get it. Yeah.
Yeah, Elsie had a Silver Surfer head that was limited, probably Dynamic Forces, and it over time had some paint loss or something.
Yeah.
You
Like
remember this?
yeah, there's a Bowen
There you go.
Colossus that chips. There you go.
Yeah, this one's cool. It's got like a stellar wave and that's plastic base. I don't know what the characters, but that came with a Fantastic Four DVD that featured the unpublished Jack Kirby story
Oh, cool.
and maybe Fantastic Four #1. as
Well,
well.
wait. Where's that unpublished story? Like, what was that intended for? Do you know?
Well, they published part of that in issue 108, I believe, and that was with
It
the
says includes Fantastic Four, the Lost Jack Kirby story, never available in print, exclusive interviews, and more.
Wait. And how is that? Is that like a comic book in that box set? Or-
DVD.
DVD. Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because here's the thing. So I have
they
confusion.
took
over-
the villain was called Janus, and they took certain Kirby panels in 108, and they did use some of that story, and the fill-ins was by John Buscema, who was drawing it by then.
Yeah. Who was?
Whoa, Elsie just fell off the Universal
Oh, no.
slide. I don't know.
Yeah.
The curse of the
K-pop
internet.
says, K-pop says
Don't
the
break those
porcelain
toys.
ones are so hard to keep in perfect condition. I got a fixed Batman's head. Got it on clearance. His head was clean, broken off. How would you
I got it clean.
recommend repair of like a broken porcelain piece like that?
Yeah. Here's the thing. This one, a girl broke this, shattered it, one time.
Really?
This broke into a dozen pieces, and she was like, like we were dating and stuff. And
Did you beat her after that? Did you beat her?
No, I don't care. And in one night she glued it all back together.
Wow.
And she did it with crazy glue, but she actually knew how to use crazy glue because a lot of people don't.
Yeah, you have to know. Yeah.
Like you kind of have to let
My
both
third
ends-
grade teacher didn't. She glued her teeth together trying to get the cap off.
Yeah, but you can kind of see some of it. Is like I don't know if you guys can see like
No, it looked
yeah.
right here.
pristine. You shouldn't
Yeah,
even
you
told
can,
us.
you can see that. Yeah.
You can see like look right here. It's like there. It's like it's literally like all over. Like I don't know if even there. Like
And how many?
That's still, she did a really good job putting it back together.
It almost looks like that later series where it's like Silver Surfer Black. you know.
Oh yeah. The
She must have felt really bad and actually liked you because she did a good job.
I think she just felt bad, and we were just like starting out too.
Oh.
And but the thing is though, it's not like I ever had like a comic book room. It was just like a random thing I had like on the shelf, and it was just like it was an honest accident, But
yeah, things happen.
Yeah.
In that neat, Paul, I can put up the chat and restream over to the right there, all the comments from the chat. Isn't that neat?
Oh yeah, that's cool. Yeah,
of course, it kind of
I'm not a big toy guy.
But...
Yeah, I never got big into the toys.
Hey, I went to
too expensive.
Went to Dollar Tree, one of my favorite places to get deals. Let's see. Whoops. I'm trying to embiggen myself or get where I can embiggen myself. There we go. And I bought a board game for $1.25. Influencers in the Wild, the game.
Ooh.
Go places, game followers, get famous, no talent required. For $1.25, I couldn't resist. I didn't even look at it. I said, that's worth that. Maybe I could.
You should. Let's play it.
Very nice.
And as I was checking out, said, "Hey, some of my friends bought that. They love it. So it might be a pretty nice game to play. A social game for social media addicts. When it comes to your social media following, more is more. No matter how many followers you have, it's never enough. So how do you grow? Simple. Travel the world. Ruin every moment with incessant content creation, and we cannot stress this enough. Overestimate your own talent. Go ahead, chase those likes like your detox tea sponsorship depends on it.
That's funny.
So detox. I don't know. It's
put
out by 555 Games in New York. Choking hazard, small parts, not for children under 3 years old.
That's what she said.
And I bought them out of, man, I highly recommend these. If you get the Craft Knight, the X-Acto blades, better than X-Acto blades. When you, and it's got an assortment of blades, all for $1.25. I bought 3 of these today. That's all they had of them. That's about all I needed of them anyway. But because you can't have enough X-Acto blades. These things are sharper than your X-Acto blades that you'll find at Hobby Lobby. These things are sharp. I highly recommend.
I keep a whole little packet of them right next to me.
Mm-hmm.
I'm showing off the only statue I've got within arm's reach.
Oh wow!
Oh yeah, there you go. Yeah,
Phantom Lady.
So how old is that? Right, that's like early comic book statue. Like,
Real Art Studios did this, and it would have been in the 2000s.
Now, is that porcelain or is that resin?
It's porcelain. It's the Blue Bulleteer, which is based on the Golden Age Phantom Lady, the Fox Comics Phantom Lady. But this is one of AC's characters, the Blue Bulleteer. But Real Art Studios had a license with them, and they put out a couple statues. This one and Yankee Girl. And somebody else, but this is the only one I got close. And she's got a broken finger.
That's
often
the only
they would come broke,
Yeah.
Now, Phantom Lady there, Matt Baker, early Negro, if I can say that word, creator in comics.
Why would you think you can say that?
He was a black man. Yes,
you got the dog part.
Okay, but Cheesecake did a lot of the women characters, and Night Vale that I showed on was based on that character loosely, right?
Well, yeah. Originally, Bill was using. He had Phantom Lady, but he turned her into a sorceress. And then DC got all up in arms because they thought they owned the rights to the name Phantom Lady, which at the time they didn't.
Yeah.
And so he changed it to Night Vale. But But then in the backstory for Night Vale, she was the Blue Bulleteer. And as the Blue Bulleteer, she wore a costume very reminiscent to the Fox Comics Phantom Lady costume.
Yeah.
But Quality Comics originally did Phantom Lady. It was an Eisner Iger shop property. And so Fox Comics Quality Comics had Phantom Lady. And she wore the yellow and green costume that DC's got her in.
I was kind of introduced to her, and she had like a little dark like lantern.
The black light.
Yep. The black light in that kind of dark out instead of light. It kind of obscured her movements, and created a shadow zone. And that All-Star Squadron. She was in All-Star Squadron. Roy Thomas brought her back in that.
Yeah, but so that was the Quality Comics version of it. But Quality Comics stopped publishing that in like 41 or 42. Mm-hmm. And Eisner
really early.
Eisner took the property and moved it to Fox Comics.
Mm.
So then Fox Comics changed their colors to blue and red. And they put Matt Baker on the book, and that's when the character became popular. And then
I just remember like Adam Hughes drawing Phantom Girl, like having a little bit of a run.
Well, Adam Hughes did a Phantom Lady cover for Verotic Comics.
Oh, okay. Maybe that's what I'm thinking of.
Who drew Rocketeer? Dave
Stevens.
Dave Stevens. I equate Matt Baker. He was the Dave Stevens of his time. He loved that grilled cheesecake stuff. He was one of the originals.
I would probably put Matt Baker as the best comic book good girl artist of the 1950s.
Yeah. L.B. Cole was probably pretty good too.
1940s and 50s. L.B. Cole's up there, but I'd say Baker was the number one good girl artist of the 40s and 50s. Yeah, he was good. He did South Sea Girl.
Why would you think you could say that?
Yeah.
Why would you think you could say that?
Come on.
Is Negro a bad word to say? I mean,
it's very old. It's an old and no longer favored term.
It's no longer favored, right?
You don't get away with saying just because I'm old anymore either. You can't be like that's what we used to say.
Well, it's amazing though. I see it in entertainment where black actors and actresses are calling each other Negro.
Yeah, and others.
Well, you're not Quentin Tarantino. You don't have the black pass yet.
Yeah, I get it. You know, some things like we don't call the Japanese Japs anymore, right?
Yeah. Or the other word.
Right.
Oh, yeah. I guess there were a few of them.
But Rex, you could probably get away with it. You could probably get away with it if you were a 90-year-old person of African descent. You could probably get away with it at that point.
Right, yeah. Well, I remember a time of the older generations where the black people of the South wouldn't even look a white person in the eye. Yeah, that was a thing. That was a thing when I was younger, growing up.
For not wanting to do that.
Huh?
They had reasons for not wanting to do that.
Well, I guess in certain towns, you might get lynched, right? Or drugged through the street. Yeah.
I was picking cotton with them, talking, playing with their kids, and they babysitted. They was living in the shotgun house behind us. I was raised by, I just knew black people. I didn't even know any other people around. There wasn't white people around. It was us.
You looking at me, cockeyed boy?
Back there in the back. Shoot, I walked in. We'd give him a bath in a big old tub, man, and he'd be saying, "Hey, get you some of that rabbit up there," and we're like, "Dang!" This back in the '60s, early.
Well, I mean, I grew up in the '70s, and in a neighborhood that was over half black, and all my friends were black.
But I was a kid.
Because you're a kid. That's who you're playing with. That's you don't
think anything about it.
You don't think anything about it.
Yeah, right. Unless adults tell you differently,
Yeah.
It's not, it's something that's learned. It's not something I was born, you know, I was born this way. That's crazy. It's a matter of choice. My father worked with I can still remember the black gentleman. I don't know if he's still alive or dead. He's probably dead now, but just it never made a distinction. Never made a distinction. So, why should you think any differently?
I'll tell you a story now.
But now, if your parents make a distinction and point it out, then you're gonna go that way, which is incorrect.
Back in about 1965, I was in Memphis. I was 8, 9, 10, getting around that age. My dad drops me off at the doctor's office because I wasn't feeling good, and I walk up to there, open the door, and I look up one side and packed full, man. You can't sit down. It's just full of white people. I look over there. There's about 10 people in there, and they're all black. But I just went in there and sat down with them, started talking to them because I was 8, man. I grew up with black people. It wasn't like I was walking into Memphis, a big prejudice. I mean, them people, the only difference is they didn't have the signs up, okay? Mm-hmm. And I was sitting there talking to them, having a good time, and that nurse goes, "What are you doing?" I go, "I'm waiting to see the doctor." She's eyes got big, and she left, and next thing I know, Dr. Bell's come through that door, man. He's getting me up, pulling me back in a room. Because I didn't know I didn't know that kind of stuff was going on, man. To me, that was crazy.
Yeah, children don't know prejudices.
That's wrong.
Yeah.
So they get taught to them.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah, well, I didn't mean to derail the
I never saw a black person until I was like
my
10 or 12 years old.
My dated comment, let's put it that way.
I didn't even go off on a tangent. So,
hey Rex, I can share some artwork if you can let me share.
You bet. Somebody's dog going off. Oh, by the way, Abby, I think I know what her problem was. Maybe over Christmas time while she was feeling bad. And it's interesting. I was just had her in my lap in the Lazy Boy today, and was on this side of her face. It seemed a little raised, like maybe she broke off that other tooth that goes up in her sinus. I don't know, or one of them. And so it might be a little bit infected. When we laid down in the bed and I checked her again, and it's went down. So I think it's kind of going up and down. It's something like that. We'll tend to do.
You could I could probably get you some antibiotics for the dog, man.
Okay.
I'll try.
Oh, there we go.
This is the cover for my next book.
Oh, wow. And what's your next book title going to be? Do you mind me asking?
It's going to be Tantalizing Action, The Ace.
Ooh. Ah. And I take it that's Ace there on the left?
Yeah, she's on the left, and the glasses is her without her costume on.
Okay.
Yeah, so there's some of the supporting characters are in here too, or villains and bad guys too. So, but yeah, this Bobby Ragland drew the pencils for this, and Jeff Austin, who also worked on FemForce, he inked it. But here's one of the interior pages.
Very nice.
And another.
Oh, now see, you actually got her making contact. We were talking about that the other day. That usually there's the wind up and then the moment after the person's hit, but you're actually making contact.
Yeah, no, I fight scenes should be fight scenes.
Yeah, we were talking about that on a panel the other day. That very rarely do you see what you just showed us.
Yeah. So just some of the interior pages, but yeah, I mean, I usually try to have, bullets are being shot and people are being hit, and she's kicking this guy, hitting that guy. So So that's, I'm showing the action scenes mostly, but
it's good, man.
Yeah. Yeah, Bobby's gotten really good. Good.
The color job's really nice. It's very saturated, very intense.
Yeah, that's I have a guy in Brazil. His name's Victor Ranieri, and he's been doing the colors for
that one guy at the bottom. He reminds me of Lex Luthor.
He's one of the bad guys.
Yeah, very villainous sneer on his face. Expression.
Good. The pictures are supposed to tell the story without you needing the words to.
Exactly.
A good guy.
Well, I mean, that's how I compose my stuff. Is I first thumbnail it out and
look at yourself in the mirror and think about the villain, and you draw yourself as the villain. Don't kick me, Rex. I'm just joking. Don't kick me.
Okay, I don't mind you talking. Just.
Anyway. I love you, buddy.
Okay.
So
he runs in a
you talk about that Ed Cooch who I was talking about earlier. He has looked in the mirror and drawn himself, or if he needed to know what the hand would look like in a certain position, he'll sit there with his hand in the mirror and
Sure. The way you do it, man.
Yeah.
And let me tell you, you need an example when you're drawing a hand, brother. You need one.
Yeah, hell yeah.
I've got a couple of my books. He drew me and him into the panels when there was a crowd scene. Cool. He'd always, he'd be like, I'd have to pick myself out, like, where's Waldo in the crowd scene.
Where's Waldo?
See, I don't know if that took an extra window. If we had an extra person on here, I don't know if anybody could share screen or not. Can you do that on StreamYard? If you have a full panel, can you still share stuff?
Yeah, I believe so. Yeah.
You can. So it's probably the same on Restream. I didn't know.
Yeah, he shared pretty good. Yeah.
Well, I mean, we don't have a full panel though. If we have one more person, we'd have.
Yeah, it'll just be that tab, just like on StreamYards. It'll be a tab you have to bring up.
Okay. I didn't know if that would allow that or not. So I see you have abandoned Bog for Marcus Killigrew's character, and that's Captain. What's his name?
Courage.
Courage.
Captain Courage. Okay.
And then we got Bog's just about done. I just have to do a tree and do the sunset and some of the reflection here.
Yeah, so, isn't that awesome?
That is awesome. That really looks good. That's one of the best renditions of Bog I've seen.
That's another piece that I'm going to have to buy for him because it looks so great. If he wants to sell it.
Yeah, I mean, I don't send out the originals. But for you, Rex, I will. So,
Well, thank you, sir.
I don't do originals, so it's just kind of like you're almost like grandfather then at this point.
Well, thank you, sir. Maybe I'll use that.
Like grandfather, don't he?
Yeah. Well, I'm putting together a trading card set and supplement about Bog, so this might come in handy. Yeah.
Yeah, and then so I don't know.
They show off that original Omer Glitch artwork that got sent to you, Rex.
That's nice.
Okay. I can
Bog
show off some of it.
Don't you got that Bog I sent you?
Okay, I had to configure things because I can't push the right button when I'm in the driver's seat here to maximize myself. There we go. So I had to kind of reconfigure stuff. And I've got some of my artwork in the way. So there's my latest Bog I did, and then a Funko Pop Bog.
Yeah, those are cool, real cool.
And the head sketches. If you back Devil Flyer, you'll get a character head sketch like this, original artwork done by me. Not exactly like that, but, So we got a Wolverine piece here done by Omer. Original piece, little trading card. We got a Hulk. I don't have all the pieces here. I had to move some of the big prints and stuff, but I've got some of it here. Oh, well, I think I've got the prints there still, too. It's just kind of buried under stuff. We got a Spawn by Omer.
Little sketch card.
Here's a Cortex. I'll be sending that to you, Omer, at some point.
Yeah, that's a beautiful piece. Thank you.
That'll be the character that goes up against Bog, him and Dirty Joe. Here's the original fan art. It was just colored at the end of this year.
Oh yeah, I did. I have seen that.
Yeah, he did this back in 2022.
How close is that to the public domain double? I never looked up the Devil Flyer public domain.
There is no public domain Devil Flyer, as far as I know.
There's no? Okay. I didn't know if that's what you were like basing it on. Yeah.
Yeah, that was an original name. Just
okay.
Got the Mighty Battle Brick with Battle Hawk there.
I totally forgot I sent that one to you too. But yeah, I mean, I meant to send it to you. But you got a good amount there, buddy.
And Bog, this is going to be made into a trading card if we reach our last stretch goal.
That was during COVID.
Look at that. Nova. Classic Nova. What was the guy's name? Rick Ryder? Something like that?
Yeah, I think you're right. That sounds right. It was Rick, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. Rick Ryder, I think. That's kind of like Bruce Banner or Peter Parker. You know,
I bought the first issue of that off the newsstand.
Red Ryder.
That's an older piece there from Omer, Zelda characters. These are nice prints here. This one's from 2013 originally. That is older stuff indeed. And then tell us about this, Omer. And if you say Cyberprog, I'm kicking you.
No, that's
or Frog G.
Frank and Sapo. It's a little.
Oh, you know, you did a fly piece recently, and here's a fly. I almost put in the title today. Omer draws flies.
That would have been good. That would have been good.
And then here,
yeah, that Frank and Sapo piece is a nod to Calvin and Hobbes.
Now you do see the head on this is.
Yeah, I was trying to force perspective on that. It's got big head. Yeah, it's all jacked up. That artwork's all jacked up, buddy.
There's a reason for it.
I draw big heads. I draw big heads, Rex, because I draw what I know. Big head. Get it?
I think you're projecting.
Richard Cranium is.
No. These came out nice, man. I think you said you got these prints made for like 15 cents a piece or something.
Like 25 cents
a piece. Okay.
Yeah,
I got some cross hatching.
23. Is that X23?
Yeah, that's cross hatching.
I guess you did the cross hatching, and then you went over it in with the watercolor, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Is that X23 dressed up like Wolverine? Okay.
Yeah. Well, she's the new Wolverine.
That's when the new Wolverine was coming out.
Yeah, like technically, you can say that's Wolverine, right?
Yeah.
Look at those tatas.
Okay.
The tatas.
Delicious.
Well, we want Paul to come back.
Look good.
Oh, look at that outfit.
There's some tatas.
Yeah. Now I know where to put the quarter.
I think based on the video game.
Put the quarter.
So slide the credit card, my friend. Slide the credit card.
Yeah, you put a quarter there, and you liable to be missing a hand, bro.
Yeah, and here's an original watercolor he did. Look at that.
Oh, nice.
That's mosaic. And a skull. Original here. Nice. Did you go buy something to draw this, to do this?
Yeah, probably reference.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
See, I've actually got a plastic skull over here with a Doctor Who hat on it. Oh, I've been watching some Doctor Who on the channel. on YouTube recently.
I never ever watched. Never got into Doctor Who. I don't even know what the premise is. Like what?
Time traveler through time and space.
Yeah. Okay.
Mm-hmm. In a telephone booth. You remember Wayne's World?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's a riff on Doctor Who.
That. Yeah. It's I kind like some of that, and then who are like the Deltex, the villains, the robots?
No, are you thinking Decepticons?
No, those
Oh, the Daleks.
Those
Dialects, whatever. However you say. Yeah.
What Daleks?
Yeah, they
Daleks.
The original Dalek series, however you want to say it, that came out in 1963, which was the second series. They did one with cavemen, which were like 4 episodes, and then the next one they did introduce them, and that's what made the show a hit and kept it alive. That's recently been colorized and cut down. It's bittersweet. I don't know if I like the cut down version or not, but they're trying to introduce it to a new generation of people.
That's a little bit of, and people already forget this, that they when they remastered the original Star Trek episodes and added all of the special effects for the exterior shots.
Paul, what are you having for dinner?
I'm not exactly sure. I think it's potato soup and maybe some sort of chicken something.
That's good on a cold day.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So I gotta go, y'all. It's been fun.
Yeah,
pleasure meeting you.
Paul, enjoyed seeing that work, bro.
Take care, Paul. Everybody check out his stuff on Indie Planet. Links in the chat and over on Fun My Comic, Tantalizing Tales. We'll ship out immediately.
Yep, absolutely. All right, see you.
Thank you, Paul.
Take care.
The great Paul Monsky.
Back it now.
Back it today.
Not tomorrow.
Back it when you can.
I like Paul. Yeah, seems like a good guy.
Nova is Dick Ryder. Laugh out loud.
Yeah, there you go. Waiting for that one.
Yeah.
Richard Dick Ryder. To you,
Richard.
Sir.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Please tell me it wasn't Dick. Shadowhawk says. Richard Cranium is Cortez. Secret identity. Richard Cranium. K-pop, you are so bad. Richard, a.k.a.
K-pop's
Dick.
funny.
Yeah. LZ, I already sent you the reference, didn't I? Shadowhawk says.
Yes. I answered him. I don't know if he caught it. But I told him yes, that he had.
We don't have a full panel. Yeah. Whose fault is that, Mr. Man? Well, I sent out links to different people, so maybe they'll drop in a little later, like LZ did.
Yeah, I was finally, good timing, Rex. I was like, as soon as you said 4, I was like, oh, I can do it.
I do the same time every day.
Yeah, I kind of once I answer that, I'm like, you know what? I know he's on the schedule. I could have just went to your channel, but I just wanted to make sure it wasn't when I saw it.
I sent it. Yeah. I sent them out early because LZ was like, I sent it out late yesterday and he didn't show up, so I sent them out early today. Oh yeah. Yeah, we saw that. I think I've got that book back there. I think you gave me one.
So, Rex, I didn't realize you were a comic shop owner. I didn't know that.
Yeah, back in 82 and 83, right at the beginning of a month after they released Dazzler #1, I had to actually order that from Capital Comic or Capital as a back issue. It was
Wow.
Marvel's first direct. You had Camelot 3000 come out. You had Marvel Age come out. You remember the book on comics, the comic on comics, Marvel Age?
Yeah.
Yeah. That came out around that time. The Omega Men, that was an
Yeah.
early first
Forgotten DC series there.
first appearance of Lobo.
Issue 5 or 8, right?
Issue 3. Yeah. He wore orange and purple outfit.
Yeah.
He looked gay as hell. He looked more like Harley Quinn.
Yeah, Lobo's people don't realize Lobo's one of the great like upgrades. Maybe the greatest upgrade in
with the chains and the leather and the bike and everything. Yeah.
Just letting someone go with it,
Yeah. And Omega Man was a pretty solid run. Keith Giffen artwork, I believe.
Yeah, I know people that used to swear by that. There used to be, I guess, like they kind of faded away, but Omega had like it was that like the Infinity Inc. people, like they would all kind of buy the same series.
And I read them first in Green Lantern. They made their first 2 or 3 appearances in Green Lantern.
Yeah, I mean, like, would you label that as part of like kind of like the fall of Legion of Superheroes? Like kind of when those series went away and the 80s Legion went away, right? Like that book never really came back.
Well, they canceled Adventure Comics, and they brought back Legion. Well, I mean, in the 90s, they had like Legionnaires. They had different.
Yeah.
But you mean popularity-wise?
Well, I mean, like to where like there was like like here's a good example. Let me grab it real quick. So like these, like I'm sure we've all seen these. The DC Hero Metal Men.
Oh wow, I've never seen that.
Yeah, so this is like the original like Watchmen.
Oh yeah, the little die cast, the little pewter figures.
So when DC rolled these out, like of course they had Watchmen because that was like the thing at the time. But it was like they had Legion, they had Teen Titans, Justice League, and if they did these today, there would be no Legion box set.
Yeah.
Like that's a little bit what I mean about Legion, just as like Mark Waid had a good run on it. Abbott and Lang had a really good run. Like that was
Mike Grell, David Hunt. Oh gosh, Dave Cockrum, of course, did a lot of their.
But even
styling
like
of their costumes.
Even during all of that, DC used to run through Legion. Like Legion was like the team book. It was everything.
You think that was because it was so far flung in the future, or there were so many characters?
I don't like. I think there was just something that kids liked. I think something teenagers liked. Because that was their primary audience. And then once the modern age hit, and you got the JLA, right? Because it wasn't called Justice League of America. Like that's where that and Teen Titans solidified as the go-to team books for DC. And then, like in my opinion, Legion really is what like 70s DC was built on. Never came back post-Crisis. Like Crisis of Infinity Earths happened.
Yeah, I mean that killed a lot of stuff, with the Crisis for sure. Shadowhawk asked, did Bisley do that redo of the costume and everything of Lobo?
Yeah.
Okay. Here's a couple things to show you, Peter.
Let's see.
Computo, the original Computo, that killed one of the triplicate girls, and she became Duo Damsel after that.
I love that.
She would split into 2 other people, so there'd be 3 of them. Well, Computo disintegrated 1 or whatever, and that left 2, and she became Duo Damsel. And she was married to I mean, if you could be with 3 women at one time, right? Okay. Bouncing Boy, one of my favorites.
Oh, there he is. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, look at that. I mean, he became a beach ball and bounced like Plastic Man all over the place.
Yeah. Oh, and here's the wild thing. I guess like
Shadowhawk doesn't like him, but I do.
Going back to when I used to do my comic shop stuff. DC directed what was it, like $150 Legion box set that it was a capsule and it like folded out.
Yeah.
Right. And that was like the last Legion product that a lot of, even then, like the old timers would come up and they would just like they would spend $200 for that.
I did not see the pewter ones that you showed. All I saw was the Marvel. I've got like random Marvel characters that, you know, have like Iron Man and Submariner and other characters in it. Just and they had series of those. And I had the X-Men series. And that's when Storm had the Mohawk.
Yeah.
So her pewter figures got the Mohawk.
Yeah, so hold on. So here,
you know, Nightcrawler of the X-Men was almost in the Legion of Superheroes.
Yes, because those were Cockrum. Those were Dave's designs that they repurposed.
Wouldn't that be wild having a character like Nightcrawler in the Legion of Superheroes? He would have fit in really nice, actually, because it's the future and you got all those alien races.
Yeah, look, at the bottom of my drawing caddy, I have these, right? This is what you're talking about. There we go.
Oh, are those the painted pewter? Did you paint those?
Yeah, these are the lead ones.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah, and these, I painted these when I was like super young.
Wow, that's cool.
Peter, keep those lead toys out of your mouth, Peter.
Now, is that Captain Marvel there? That last one you pulled out?
Yeah, the true Captain Marvel, right?
I like that version of Captain Marvel. That was in the Avengers.
Really good one. People forget that Monica Rambeau kind of.
Oh, look, man, just put those down on your drawing and show us all of them. Come on now, we want to see these things.
I'm looking for.
Wait, was that the Thing? I think I've got that one.
Yeah, I'm looking for Mohawk
awesome.
Storm. Storm should be in here.
Ben Grimm. Oh, Iron Man, I've got that one, but I have it unpainted.
Yeah. There she is.
Yeah, Storm. Yeah, with the Mohawk. Yep.
Yeah.
They had different series of those things.
So here's comic book trivia.
She-Hulk.
Right?
She-Hulk.
Yeah, for the Fantastic Four, right? We have
what's the one that you put down beside her that we didn't get to see?
Hawkeye.
Oh, Hawkeye. Okay. And you got Ariel that you just set down, right?
No, this is Kitty Pryde. Isn't that
crazy? I mean, but
Ariel,
Ariel, and Shadowcat.
Yeah, I
had different names.
I think she was Shadowcat on the box. But
she wasn't Ariel very long. That wasn't a good name for her.
Yeah, here's Doctor Strange.
Doctor Strange, yeah. I may have that, but mine are still raw pewter.
Early Rogue, like
early Rogue, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Or JR Rogue.
She started out as a villain, kind of like Hawkeye, kind of like Scarlet Witch. Scarlet Witch started out as a villain.
Yeah, we can make a substack of the original villain. I mean, technically, Wolverine was a villain.
Avengers Assemble.
Yeah,
wait a minute, you got to show everybody Wolverine because that's a favorite character of everybody. Oh, you went with you didn't go with the original yellow costume.
No, he should never be in orange or in yellow. Never.
Oh, is that Kingpin?
Yeah, Kingpin.
Wow. Was that Blob that you put down there?
No, there
off to the left. Off to the left. Off to the left.
My left or your left? Right here.
Right there by his thigh. Right there. What is it?
Oh no,
that's Submariner. Yeah. I thought that pose was kind of like wonky.
Black costume Spider-Man.
Now, was he supposed to be black costume though?
Yeah, because we have the regular right here.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
Yeah,
I
so-
like the brickwork. That's a neat base on that.
Yeah. But yeah, I keep these around because I eventually
Oh yeah,
want to
Nightcrawler. There we go.
Yeah.
He was almost a Legionnaire.
and
He's so
Hulk,
good.
Yeah.
Oh,
Hulk,
Hulk, yeah.
Oh,
Look at that.
and then Mr. Fantastic right here.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's
and-
wonky. I've never
Yeah,
seen that.
But then at
fantastic.
my desk here, I keep the villains. So this is Radioactive Man from Hulk.
Oh yeah, from the Avengers.
Yeah, Avengers Hulk, yeah. Ultron,
Oh, Ultron, yeah.
Doc Ock, which is really nice. Always like
Oh
this.
yeah, yeah, with the arms.
Cool.
Dr. Doom.
Doom.
Here we go, Scorpion. Right? Like
Yeah.
a big enough
You
Spider-Man
painted
villain.
those as a kid, Pete? You painted those as
Yeah,
a kid?
yeah.
Those are pretty good paint jobs.
Thank you.
Oh, I have some of these villain ones. Yeah, the leader,
Uh,
he's weak.
So here, like I'm saving Kang for
Kang?
last because here's the funny thing. Look at the scale of Kang. Like for example, like next to Submariner. See how much bigger Kang is.
Yeah.
Oh,
And the reason for that is because he could he would like scale himself when they there was in the component for the role playing game you could scale Kang, so Kang could be like bigger.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Too bad they didn't do a Taskmaster. I really like Taskmaster.
Yeah, he was, but look how long it took him to catch on, though, right? So here's the thing too: when people talk about like Spider-Man's rogue gallery, and so out of his rogues gallery, they really picked Kingpin, Scorpion, and Doc Ock, right? So
Wasn't Hobgoblin around at this time?
Yeah, Hobgoblin was. Yeah, I think I don't know. These might have been 84 to 85.
Well,
Right.
now some of them were 83. The X-Men ones were 83.
Potentially,
I think-
I may have.
I think some of those Marvel ones were around 83. And Hobgoblin came out in 82 or 83.
Yeah.
So
But the thing is, though, too, Goblin didn't kick in until that storyline completed. Like his initial storyline, really, like the Hobgoblin stuff was bigger in Spider-Man. Like Green Goblin was he was gone, and Hobgoblin really was like the conversation point for.
Hey, PBR.
But I just wanted to since
Apex says I have the Blazing Skull game piece. I don't know what that is. And what do you got there, Omer? Big freaking
that's the Lobo Omni, right?
Compendulum.
So you were talking about Lobo. I thought his first appearance is
Nice.
in here. I bring it up,
Which
so
is
you
an
guys can
Omega
see
Man number 3.
how-
I think Keith Giffen
That
did
way-
the art.
that we can
Keith
show
Giffen.
how much.
I paid about $35 for that book,
Yeah.
but I originally bought it for like 60 cents.
Yeah. You could that was $1 bin
It says $1
for
here.
a long time. That was
For a
$1.
long time, yeah. Till
Yeah.
Bisley redid the characters. Yeah.
Got a little bit too much direct light here. Let me see
One
if
of
I
the
can
first
switch lights here.
direct comic books that they came out with, though.
There
The
we go.
Omega Men series.
Yeah. I mean,
And it was a good read. It was a good read, man.
Yeah, like good coloring, good everything, like straight off comic book.
Prestige format. Keith Griffin doing the very first one. And basically, he was like a galactic bounty hunter, like Jango Fett or Boba Fett, right?
Yeah. Which is I guess like that's the way they still use him.
Yeah,
But-
look at that costume.
Yeah.
And his hair was even purple.
Yeah, check it out. There's our C-3PO, right? Because they're riffing off of
Yeah.
Star Wars as a bounty
Well, I
hunter.
mean, Empire Strikes Back only came out the year before.
Well, there you go. Yeah, he looks.
You know what
weird.
was cool
He looks-
in Omega Men is you had the Serpent Lady and a couple others that were evil that turned out to be evil, and you knew something wasn't right about them just from the way they wrote the stories, right?
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
they
So I
said,
was.
Check it out. Here's some Akira Kaneda.
You're welcome.
What's the name? Tetsuo.
you know,
Tetsuo
Omega Men
stretching
story is kind of like the Inhuman story to a certain degree.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're like analogs of each other, and the
look,
Inhumans.
look at that
really,
panel. Look at that.
That's wild.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's wicked.
I just love it where.
It looks like Tetsuo and stretching out his guts.
But check out the ordering. You go from like first appearance to that cover. Like that's that's
totally
the
different.
Yeah.
That's the Lobo gap. Like no
Yeah.
other appearance. No, I mean I think he was in the next second and third issue, right, of Omega. I think
Right.
he was in three straight issues or two, which is weird because his second appearance no one gives a crap about.
And now he's got a daughter named
you
Crush.
What?
You would think.
Yeah, he's got a
you would
daughter
think
named
that,
Crush.
those issues would be in here.
Really?
Part of the Teen Titans.
Yeah, jeez.
Mm. Did you hear a boop? I thought I heard a boop. Just letting you know.
Okay,
Rex.
thank you.
Who?
I didn't.
I did.
No.
Everything was sounding.
No, nobody in the back.
Good picture.
There's the cover. Yeah. Wasn't a bad cover.
You want to see the cover
Wasn't
again?
a bad
This one?
cover at all. Really.
No. But like
I mean,
the
The woman spread eagle.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna point that out. Like,
I thought I beat you to it, Omer. I know how your mind works now.
Yeah. Well, it's in the years, my friend. Oh, man.
That's cool. Now, what does that reprint in it, Omer, complete? How many issues?
It says it goes from.
Because it's got to have some specials in there, right? Because he did some specials issues.
Let's see. It's got Omega Man number 3, Lobo number 1, 2 from the miniseries 3, and then it goes to the second Lobo miniseries 1. I guess there was only one of those, and then the Demon number 11, the Demon number 12, Demon 13, Demon 14, 15. Then the Lobo Family Christmas Special, Military Special number 1. Lobo's back, and it does all the Lobos back all the way 1 through 3. Then Lobo's back part 4, which is that's okay, 1 through 4 then. Man, it's got everything here, and then all the things he was in. Let's see, this one's Lobo Blazing Chain of Love number 1, Lobo Infanticide number 1, 2, 3, 4. Lobo Portrait of a Victim. Yeah, it goes on and on. It's got a whole other page here of
convention special.
Oh,
You know.
yeah.
Peter, you know,
Elseworlds.
you know, they did that Jonah Hex had a daughter, and her first appearance was in one of those 100 pagers that they were doing.
Yeah, same
in
as like
Walmart.
Joker's daughter. Like,
Jenny.
the Joker's daughter one where I don't like it.
Oh yeah, was
In
it?
the old
Didn't they do that whole year where they gave everybody
in the old
daughters?
Titans, they had a
Jenny.
character that was Joker's daughter called Harlequin. What's her name? Remember?
Yeah.
In the 70s?
Yeah, and that's kind of where I think that's where they had the name to use when they would go through the catalog. Right?
Yeah, but
'Cause-
can't anybody use that name, Harlequin? That's
yeah, but some of it gets tricky where I mean, like you could, I'm sure someone could have, but when those guys were working on the animated series, they were like, hey, like we have this available, and then
Right.
like but I think it's like you can still enforce, like the name might be open, but you can enforce like confusion if you have a character called Harley Quinn that looks a lot like the DC Harley Quinn. Like,
yeah, I mean, you couldn't copy the logos or the likeness too well, but Harley Quinns have been around, and jesters and characters like that have been around for centuries. So you could come out with
her name is actually Harley Quinzel, right? It's not Harley Quinn.
Yeah, it's a play on words.
Isn't it a word?
The reason I've got Fembat brought up is just Apex Comics is in the house. He's getting big, guys. He was on Katie Did's stream earlier today. How about that?
Oh, he's been on Katie a bunch of times. Yeah. They get along real well. They're buddies. Oh, look at that. We're at the bottom.
Yeah, and I'm eliminating you totally. So there we go. Hey, I'm getting good at this restream stuff. 25 backers, $1,119, 107 days to go. Ends May 15th. Groovy.
I'm a backer.
Should have seen us earlier, Terry. We had more people on. Watch it on replay. Oi, Savile. Incense of peppermint. That's what that song's based on. Back it today. On my comment. Groovy. And the little Fun My Comic figure with the book, you're gonna have to do a Fembat holding that book. And
Shadow asked earlier, he asked me if he spelled it correctly. La Mosca, yes, it's correct. I'm just going through the chat, checking some stuff.
Oh, okay.
I wanted to see if Shadow had gotten his package yet. I think he said yeah, and Apex, I don't know if he responded and said.
Yeah, I'd highlighted them at the time, but you weren't paying attention. You were drawing.
Sorry.
You were drawing.
Thank you.
That's fine. Guys, we'd like to see the creative process around here.
Sure.
We're just wondering why everybody's wondering why AKA Pad's working on this piece and not the Bog piece.
Bog's done. Yeah, Bog's done.
Awesome.
Bog's done.
I sent the link to Marcus Killigrew, but he didn't want to show up. So, I figure that Bog needs to co-op his character.
I'll show you guys. The only thing I have to do for Bog is reference Hogarth here, and I need to pull.
Oh wow!
Great
Tarzan artist.
Yeah,
dynamic drawings. Wow, I've never seen this book with the silhouettes. That's cool.
So see, the positive and negative here. So we'll do that here.
What? There was this before Frank Miller? You're kidding?
Yeah. This, if you don't have this, you need all 5 of these books, and you should memorize them.
Dynamic, what's it called? I'd love to get it. What's it?
Light and Shade by Bert Hogarth. Dynamic Light. Yeah.
So, Hogarth has this. He's got the human head. He has dynamic hands.
Oh, that's the one. Now I have that one there with hands. Yeah.
Anatomy.
And I think I've got that one as well. Yeah.
The one he's most famous for, dynamic figure drawing. And then the one that everyone also too should have is Wrinkles in Great Brave.
Oh wow! Can you show a few pages from that one?
Yeah. So this is the one with all the shortcuts.
Yeah, there you go. So many people don't know how to do that and do it properly.
this is the stuff you have to like. You just have to memorize it. Period.
Yeah.
Like there's no.
If you want to create an illusion of 3 dimensions, you have to know that. If you don't,
Yeah.
it's all flat.
Yeah, I mean, like I talk about this a lot. This is a part of like the process of like you have to see things in your mind's eye, just to have a chance with a blank piece of paper. And the more you kind of like fill your head up with, like you have an opportunity to, you don't need reference material.
Well, you can't put it down on paper if you don't have it straight in your head to begin with.
Yeah. Yeah, but then like also Rex, there is like a process to figure like where you can figure things out once you start sketching. Like once you start drawing, you can kind of it kind of goes back and forth. But like at the like you should always strive for like your quick doodles and your sketches should be better. Like like that's like your sketching should be always getting better, and like your final pieces should always be like. That's the process. Like you gotta be a good sketch artist. You have to be a good finisher. Like that's it.
My whole thing is I believe.
Oh, I'm a good finisher, baby.
You got to know how to draw before you can do anything.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, if you don't know how to draw, you can be a hobbyist and have fun, but
unless you want to be an abstract painter. Then you can just go balls to the wall, right?
I don't think.
Here, I'm gonna put a little dots
unless
here
you
and
can prove your
squares.
competency and everything else, you shouldn't be allowed to do an abstract painting.
Wow.
Yeah, I agree with that.
That's right. Hey, we're gonna censor what people. You shouldn't be allowed. Wow.
That's just my.
Yeah, well, if you think about Jackson Pollock,
no freedom in America. He's for Biden.
I'm not going to do nothing. I'm just talking personally.
Oh, okay.
If I didn't know how to draw, I had no business doing an abstract painting.
I see what you're saying. I do, but it's like, wow, your word.
Like, yeah.
Elsie, I just want to throw paint and draw squares.
I just want to throw paint,
Jeez,
I've
man.
done that. I love it.
Which brings me to this. I don't know if you guys caught it on the news today, but 80 years today, they're celebrating the liberation of Auschwitz and the survivors.
Oh, wow.
And actually had Auschwitz survivors there, still.
Wow.
80 years ago today. All over Fox News today. It was at the bank. That's why I know what's happening.
Do we know how many survivors are left of Auschwitz?
Again, I wasn't listening to it, but you can probably Google that. Bring it up. I'm sure that YouTube.
I've been to one of the concentration
camps
in Germany.
They had a nice stage area and things, but they had a box. A train. Many of the Jews were, put on trains. They had a box, a train box, there like on stage. Yeah. Because so many of them were shipped to and Auschwitz was only one of like 5 or more, concentration. Probably the best known.
I used to know. I used to be able to name some of them. Oh my God, I forget.
Well, Mouse. You probably have that, right, Peter? I know Elsie does, and even before Elsie shared that with his dad, who's not a comic book reader. And what did your dad think about that, Elsie?
He never would talk about it, but I never got the book back. I'll tell you that.
Yeah.
Yeah, Mouse is one of the.
You got it in the mail. Cool.
Yeah, that's one of the top 5 comic books.
Hey, Jay.
Yeah, that's not funny.
I missed that joke. There we go. Wow.
Yeah. Oh, nice.
Oh, the double book set. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
See, that really shows you the power of comics and literature, that it can be high art, and I think it's over in
to that book.
I think over in Europe it's looked at as more. It's only in America and a few other places that comics are kind of like low brow,
Yeah, but you know what, Rex? I can go to the student bookstore for Penn and Drexel, and in the student sections they have Mouse. Like Mouse is in like even like in the history section for some of that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I loved it.
I mean, it's a seminal work. Is it memory hold? Like that's the real question, right? Because who's reading that now? That's like in the game. Like I don't right. No one posts about it. No one talks about it.
I think the way that
I remember reading that as a kid.
I think.
Oh, this is Walter Danley. This is LZ. He's wanting to know who you were. Jay Ryan says, "Who's the old guy in the pink room?"
Me?
Yeah, get out of the way of the camera and show them that Jack Kirby oil painting.
That thing, they seen that.
Jay doesn't know who you are, so he hasn't seen it.
Oh, let me get out of the way then. This way.
Everything's
Go
opposite.
this way.
And that's that desert scene back there. It's not your typical Jack Kirby painting. Man, you've been doing some cleaning in that room, even since last time you were on.
Big time, bro. Big time.
Yeah, you're showing more wall space.
Go to the left, LZ, all the way to the left instead of the right.
I know. That would have been too easy. Everything's opposite on camera. It's confusing if you don't know what's going on.
What do I need to do?
Nothing.
Hold up your left hand.
You're good.
Hold up your left hand.
Don't confuse him, Homer. Don't confuse him.
Move to the left.
It's so easy. Don't confuse him.
Move to the left. Yeah, that way.
Fucking hell, man.
Why? Yeah, that's why I told him to hold his hand up.
I know color theory. What the hell? Oh my God.
What
you guys.
Look.
Oh.
But he was pointing at the Jack Kirby artwork. There it is.
There you go. There's
another
one, Peter. How about that? Original painted costume.
Oh, look at that.
Of Quicksilver.
There you go. The teal Quicksilver. Yeah. The
green and white. No, green and white.
Oh, green and white. Yeah. The villain.
That was his original colors on his costume. I did not paint that. I bought it custom painted. You know.
That's cool though.
That's Jack Kirby right there. LZ's pointing at the camera.
So what? That's like a Jack Kirby
oil paint.
Did you ever get any of these die-cast little characters that are out there?
No, but that's a cool one. Look at the detail for that.
Oh yeah, the detail.
That's
on
like
these
metallic. Dude, I like that. Like
they are metal.
Yeah, but that like metallic color that they use on some figures and statues is
Killer Croc.
Yeah.
LZ, we can see your brain up your nose.
Green Lantern, he's really kind of metallic green, you know.
Yeah. I think that stuff just comes off so freaking cool. I think there's like a little Doomsday one.
There it is.
Doomsday one that's like silver. That's awesome if that's a Jack Kirby. Like, why are you not selling that?
The Atom has no face. They kind of put silver there, metal.
Oh yeah.
So there's no detail on that. But
what's with the gas mask, LZ?
Here's a cool one from Marvel. Look at that, the Hulkbuster. He's big.
Yeah, that's always a favorite, right?
Yeah. And you have Supergirl.
There's a picture now, Rick.
That's going to be a prime collectible soon for her movie, right? She's in Superman. The James
You wouldn't
Gunn.
think that Jack Kirby would do a painting like that, would you?
Well, I would think he, like, anyone that can illustrate can recreate what's in front of their face. Like anyone that can draw, like anyone that can illustrate a comic book page, you can do a portrait, you can do a landscape. Yeah, like I would. Yeah, like honestly, I'm not surprised. No.
Yeah. Well, he moved out
I'm
to
not
California.
He's an artist.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But you wouldn't expect that out of him, you know. But he was more than just a comic book artist too. Yeah, there's a Superman in another pose. And now this one's plastic, but I like these little clicks. One of my favorite ones, Plastic Man. Look at that.
There you go.
Especially
The character, right?
A what?
1973.
Old Fawcett character.
Yeah, like plastic is comic book history right there.
Jack Cole. He did work for Playboy or Penthouse, one of the others, or both. He was
Cool.
a cartoonist for them.
So here we go. We have Captain Courage, and then we have of Wednesday. We've completed just about 2 of the Wednesday drawings. So
Yeah, and your other one that you're working on is what?
this is Mighty Mary, and then this is the other one I penciled on Wednesday.
Now, who's Mighty Mary's character?
This is Dave. He Rebel Comics.
Oh, okay. Was he on with us?
No, I've been trying to get him to pop on my stream for this.
Okay,
But,
he's been on here before.
Oh, has he? Okay,
Yeah.
I go back and forth with him, like from time to time. But like he wanted a homage cover, so.
And then what's underneath that? That's from that's the Don. Is that the Don's
Yeah,
character?
Don's medieval knight character.
And what's that? Chivalry.
That's Dale A's character.
Dale. I'm sorry.
What's the name
Sword
of the
and
book?
Chivalry. Sword and Chivalry by Dale
And
A.
can't you get that for free?
You
Yeah.
can at the-insulation.com.
Yeah, he'll mail it out, and then this is going to be I work with a guy that loves Black Adam and the greatest American hero.
Oh, nice. That's
like
nice.
and he saved our butt like a couple weeks ago. He was able to do something, and we had no one available, so I was going to do this to kind of say thank you.
Well, that's wild. Black Adam with the greatest American hero.
So here's the thing. So I looked up the logo for the logo, the greatest American hero.
Uh-huh.
So I went through like a black hole and I started watching the series because I'm like, they have to explain the logo is still kind of like unknown. No one knows.
Well, it's a circle with a lightning bolt, isn't it?
No, the logo's like it's almost like this, and it has like a center spike, and then it's like that.
Oh,
That's the logo.
Oh, okay.
So
and they never explained it in the
Some
series?
people think it's the Chinese symbol for balance, or like the Japanese symbol for balance, but
like for harmony.
There's nothing like I don't think it's in the show where they even he just wears
it or anything.
Yeah,
that's weird.
Yeah,
this is Rebel Comics Rogue, the American Dream.
Yeah, there you go. That's it. Yeah.
Put them up.
Thanks.
Put them
Rogue,
up.
the American Dream. So,
but you're drawing her counterpart, Mighty Mary.
Mighty Mary, yeah. And then, but this one, what I have to do for this, I have to split one of these pages, and I have to tape. I need more room this way, and I need more room this way for the original. So,
a trifold cover. There you go.
Yeah. So I because this is the first appearance
homage
of
to Cage.
Yeah.
One. Right.
So
Dwayne Turner, is that the one you're doing? The Dwayne Turner? Oh no, you're doing the original one.
The original, yeah. So this has elements. It has playing cards here. There's supposed to be dice and a guy here and a dead body here.
And
now, did he say I want all that stuff in there? Is it just stuff?
He just said homage cover, and I said, well,
okay.
I'll do one my way.
Pete hates doing homage covers because
I do not. Yeah, that this is the last one I'll ever do.
It's like it's not real art when you just copy something.
Yeah, it's just come up with something original for your cover. Create the next iconic cover.
Unless you're John Byrne doing yourself homage or Todd McFarlane homaging yourself, then it's okay.
Correct. Yeah, you can do it yourself if you're the guy that did the original cover.
Look at that art table, Elsie. He just mixes the paint right there on his table.
Oh yeah, I don't care.
That's a great piece.
Show him your hand. Yeah. Show him your hand there. Your hand is like that all the time.
Yeah,
I've seen it. What, he get a tattoo on his hand there, bro?
Every time he
every
inks,
day.
every time he inks. Yeah.
Might as well.
Yeah, and that's been my technique since I taught myself inking. You know, I just think it's the easiest
Hey,
thing.
whatever
Like,
works, brother. I'm the same way with my art. Whatever works, man.
yeah, so
What I'm gonna do.
I try and be efficient too. You know, and sometimes I'll leave here, I'll forget, I'll have it on me. I'll like walk into the office and yeah, I'll have to go like
I'd rather shake your
real
hand
quick.
crazy
LZ, have you
fingernails.
seen this? Have you seen this, LZ? Check that
And
out.
then he
I've
gets
seen
mad
it.
because nobody wants to shake his
That
hand.
one.
Yeah, right.
It's Rex Pez.
Rex Pez.
Yeah, check it out. Momentum Concepts Comics.
That's cool. That's cool.
What do you think, LZ? I know you like the Pez. I saw him in the background too.
Yeah, brother. I got some Pez. I like.
Yeah,
it.
on the next
I think
like
y'all
memories?
campaign, on the next campaign, I'm going to try and do Devil Flyer Pez, as a stretch goal.
Oh, that's cool.
Look at that Shadowhawk Pez.
Oh,
Yeah,
I want
That's wacky. That's the type of stuff you do, Peter. That's wacky, isn't it?
yeah. It's almost like that
Pretty
could
funny.
be like a thing, where like Ohm will draw you as a pet.
Oh, I should do a Peter Pez. That would be cool. Peter Pez, aka
Yeah.
Peter Pez.
Well, they have a Peter Pez, and he's their
What?
mascot. Peter Pez is the clown.
Holy cow!
Let me see if I have one here. I did have one right here in
You
front
might
of
have
me.
to make an LZ Pez head. Yeah, with a goatee and a hat, baseball hat,
Yeah.
or a cowboy
And-
hat.
Mustache wax.
whatever.
Yeah, with a big curly Q mustache. Look at that. Whoop.
Yeah, Peter Pez is the mascot, and that's the clown figure that they've had since the
Oh, I
1970s.
did not know that.
Yeah. Here's
Start
a
drawing all
here's
my
a
friends as
custom
Pez
one
heads.
that was made. I don't know what material they made it out of, Peter, but this is a Grinch that stole Christmas.
I love that one.
That's
And
pretty
that's
cool.
the Chuck Jones. That looks like a Chuck Jones drawing.
Yeah, it really
That's
does. It looks like the
handmade.
character, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Paid
That's
$45 for this back in the early 2000s,
What?
and yeah,
Well,
it's-
Handmade.
and they finally
Yeah.
made like a couple Christmases ago. They finally made a Grinch and the dog and sort of the little girl from Whoville. But this one looks better than the one that they produced.
A lot better. A lot
Yeah,
better.
this looks like the old Boris Karloff character. Yeah, those are cool. I mean, I'm
Yeah,
really going
I
to
like
look into that, LZ, this year about getting Devil Flyer done as a Pez, because we could sell them on eBay.
Man, I
Ooh, I
have
gotta
a-
draw the Pez head Devil Flyer. Yeah. Am I the official Pez head designer for Momentum Comics?
You could probably give that to Pez, and they go, "Okay, we'll make it."
Well, I'll draw them for you. So
He's
you
the
can get
official designer for Momentum Comics, the Pez. Whatever
the
Pez,
Pez
we make,
heads.
part of.
Well, I've got a project in mind for Omer Glitch,
Oh.
but he's got so much things going, and he's working on Shadowhawk, so I just haven't proposed it to him yet. But I do have something in mind for him down the road.
I finally got around to sketch it. It's not so. This isn't. I don't think it's a surpriser. I'm doing some work for Levi, and he commissioned me for a cover for his Clockwork Commandos. This is a rough layout.
Yeah, you're potato cam, and it's not inked yet, so it's not really.
Yeah, this is
showing up.
pencil. Yeah, this is just pencil. Sorry, guys.
We can't even see the pencil hardly. So.
No, you can't see it at all.
Yeah.
Well. Oh well.
Hey,
Yeah,
Pez,
you did that the other night when you and I
See
were
that?
backstage. It's like you could hardly see it.
Yeah. Oh, when I sketch stuff in pencil. Yeah.
I can
Go
see
ahead,
the
Elsie,
other
sorry.
drawings.
Yeah. This.
Omer's had
I'll be
an
back.
effect on me of late, Peter.
I'll be right
No.
back.
Okay.
Hopefully in a good way.
I hope so.
Well, he's got me doing color. Oh,
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's a good thing.
I mean, previously, I might have something that had a little bit of color in it, like maybe the eyes of a character colored in,
Yeah.
like this.
Yeah.
But now he's got me doing full color head sketches. There's Ladybog.
It's so fun. It's so fun. You know, but you're a previous painter, so this
Right.
is, I mean, adding color, you know, it's fun and like
It is.
dabbling.
It's just it's time consuming.
Time consuming.
You know?
Yeah.
Here's one I found the other day that I haven't shown in a while that I did.
Oh, cool. Yeah. That's kind of closer to the original bog version you had, where it's the mound of grass. Yeah, that one's
But I got a new marker set, and it's kind of limited on the greens, so I had to kind of get creative. But
Yeah, I will. I got an upcoming video on basically how I obtained almost just about full set of the Prismacolors. That's dropping this week. But, yeah, I've been wanting to do more like process.
You can see why they say Bog looks like Cthulhu. You know.
Yeah. Well, for mine, that's why I kind of went.
And I didn't even know who Cthulhu was.
Yeah,
bless you.
Like for mine, I went like more like hair, like more kind of like thick hair rather than like tentacles.
That's elephant bog right there.
Yeah,
like
it can
trunk.
look like a trunk. That's what I thought about Man Thing. You know.
Yeah.
Often, but I'm gonna do the panels in like gray and this cardboard brown on the. Huh?
And that last drawing, those two legs that were out front made it look that way.
I don't think I showed any legs, but I like that he can have different looks, you know.
Yeah.
There you go, Peter. How about that one?
I don't like that he has different looks. It makes it such a pain in the ass to draw, Rex. Thanks.
So you do highlights with white, and I've been doing highlights with white on here, you know.
Yeah. I'm just.
There you go. Here's one. That's color. It personifies.
Cool.
I actually came up with. I have a character called Spore, and I thought, well, maybe I'll call him Spore. He's one of the 43, and what he does is he infects you, and you kind of wrapped around in a cocoon, and you go into a psychedelic type of trip in your mind.
Ooh.
That's the kind of friend you want.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is that geode?
That's Geo.
I like the cross hatching you did over that white.
Mhm.
It's a reverse cross hatch. I like it. Optical illusion.
Guys got skills. You know.
Yeah, look at that. Another geode.
Another Geo on cardboard. Yeah. My God, I mean, look at the stack. I just keep doing them. You know, it's like
Hell yeah.
I'm gonna have a portfolio before it's all done. You know.
Yeah. You gotta buy yourself a scanner, buddy. $50 at Office Depot. Office Max.
Yeah, it might actually save me some money, huh?
Yeah, that way you don't have to get them scanned somewhere. Just there.
Well, you know, she's scanning a lot of stuff for me for free, and you know, every now and then she'll go, "Okay, you got to charge you $50," you know. So
yeah.
And she does.
Look, Pete, I got another pizza round. I made a pizza.
Hey, there you go. I got a new pizza round too. I haven't eaten the pizza yet. Would you recommend eating the pizza and then doing the drawing, or draw it and then eat the
pizza? That's one of the rules. You have to eat the pizza.
Yeah, I'm gonna make another one tonight with some spaghetti. So it's a spaghetti pizza night tonight.
Yeah.
Peter,
So hopefully
together, or maybe on the next Homer glitch. Look at this. I've got a backlog here.
You got the stack, bro. Yeah, I barely have 5.
I gotta finish these ones up. I'm so behind on these. Maybe I'll be back like later on my channel to wrap these up.
Are you gonna invite us over to your channel so we can hang out with you?
Yeah, I don't know. Like honestly, I like just being able to do the work. You know?
Yeah.
Like,
What?
Yeah.
Come on.
Omer says,
can
I'm
invite
cutting
us."
back on streaming, but
I would do it to hang out with Pete. I would do it to
For
hang out with
sure,
you guys.
all right. I
are
mean,
these mad balls? What are these characters?
These are Mad Balls. These.
Okay.
Yeah, these ones
Yeah.
are. So, I think this is like the original. These are the original releases too.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
yeah, I think there was like 8 original or maybe 6.
So do you do reference? How do you
Yeah.
find this stuff? You
Yeah,
just Google it.
Yeah, it's like these are based on there was an ad that that I
in comics.
and, and I based everything on that ad because there's so many different versions of these ones. Like they remade Slobulus now like 4 or 5 times, and each one's like slightly different. And I wanted to go from like the original, like
I love your coloring in the mouth. It's really got some depth to it.
Yeah,
Look at that. Yeah. Look at that. It's really got. It's sort of gradiated, and it's really got some good depth to it.
Yeah, and that was a mistake, but for here, like he'll have.
Don't tell us that was on purpose.
Yeah, that was. Yeah. I was, but I did this one live where I was like streaming and I was like noodling, and I just looked away and I was like, oh wow, like that's kind of like, that's kind of where it needs to be.
Yeah.
Yeah, like some of these are challenging because this guy's like a wolf, so the color of the corrugated cardboard is the middle tone, but it's a very dark middle tone. So to get this one to look rounded, I'm gonna have to kind of get lucky with other colors to shade it a little bit better. So each one's like a process, though. Like it's not like I know what the results are going to be because of the cardboard. The cardboard.
So you do them in pencil, and here it looks like you're starting off with the highlights.
Yeah, because sometimes if I'm live streaming, like I want to get to what's interesting. So and these don't show up well. The pencil, I have to hit these with the Sharpie live. Because
it's the same issue I had when I was showing my pencil work.
Yeah,
I can't see it; it's so light.
Yeah, so I kind of I try and present too. Like I try and so people can follow along and they we pick up the piece from like a certain stage. Because like that's one of the reasons why I live stream so people can kind of just like learn. Like you can kind of
see inside the mouth almost looks like a wash with paint, and then you drew over it.
No, this was but a lot of like I kind of can visualize these to a point where I can like I know where to lay things down, if that makes any sense. Like I can kind of like even with the eyes and stuff, I'll know like where the highlights are going to go, so it looks like rounded and because the white's not going to show up well like a white colored pencil or pastel. So
some spaghetti.
You have to do like different things for some of these. But maybe
I'm ready, Pete. I'm ready. Whenever you want to invite us, I have a pizza round to work on.
Okay.
When you want to have a pizza round draw night? That'd be great. I look forward to that.
Yeah, I would love to do that with you, Peter, one night, so that we can actually get some, actually use these because I've got like a stack here. I think I've got 18 or 19.
Anytime like the Wednesday 10 o'clock is like kind of like a good time frame for me. So maybe it'll be like a day at 10. Yeah.
And I know Omer likes to stream later too, and I do too, as long as I can get a rest period after this show.
Yeah.
I'm good with it.
All right. I like that, guys. Thank you.
But now you got great subject matter. You've done the Turtles characters. You've done the Mad Balls you're working on now. You've done tell us some of the other stuff you've worked on your pizza.
Street Sharks right here.
Street Sharks,
we have it's also like original Turtles. Like this is original Baxter Stockman.
Right. Who becomes a character, the Fly character himself, right?
Yeah, which is right here.
And he created the little Mousers, right?
The Mousers, yeah. And then we have like some of the little known Archie characters. We have the DIC series.
Well, now wait a minute. Little known Archie characters. What would that be?
Well, like this is like War, like Archie for the Archie comics for the Turtles created original Archie.
Oh, in the Archie series.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
This
Yeah, a lot of
from-
people don't know that Archie had an Archie series with the Ninja Turtles. And also, have you done, and I probably asked you this before, have you done Zen Intergalactic Ninja?
I have Zen sketched. Oh yeah, right here. I have it sketched out.
That looks like Cerebus.
Yeah, that's Cerebus because he crosses over right in Turtles number 6, I believe.
Oh, yeah. Uh-huh.
Or Turtles 8.
Oh, you need to do Thunder Bunny. I think that's the one I'll do, is Thunder Bunny.
Okay. We have.
Are you aware of Thunder Bunny?
No, I have to look that one up.
Oh my God. You got to look that one up. Yeah.
The Plutarchian from Biker Mice from Mars. So we have the Biker Mice here.
Oh, yeah, Backer Mouse from Mars. Yeah.
Toxic Avenger.
Toxic Avenger. Yeah. You should have got the mop in there somewhere in the background.
Yeah. These are all out of order too. They're all out of whack now. Like I put them in order and then like they go upside down. But then like it's like this is Turtles in Time, the 3rd movie.
So is that what you do a lot of time? Look at the eye shading on that. Look at that one. Wow. Do you put the highlights in?
The highlights are the final stage.
That's what I thought. That's why I was kind of surprised you were putting them in first on that pencil sketch.
Yeah, it's like so I get excited sometimes and I want to like just visualize it. But a lot of times too, like the highlights go back and forth where I'll Sharpie over them to like round it.
This looks like you splooged on it. It's what character was that? What with the eye stalks? What character was that?
Joe Eyeball. He came packaged with Muckman. So some of the original Turtles were they came with minifigs. So this guy came with this guy.
Now, did you collect this stuff? I mean, you're aware of a lot of this 80s stuff.
Yeah. You know, things are well researched. You know, that's the process too. You gotta.
Also, Rex, you have to remember he's doing the white so it'll pop on video. That because he's trying to make it interesting for the audience. Because otherwise, you won't see it.
Oh, look at that one. Which one's this?
These are Pirates of Dark Water, Hanna-Barbera.
Oh, haven't you done Bucky O'Hare as well?
I got him sketched out. So Bucky's here.
Okay. And that was Michael Golden character, right?
Yeah, Continuity Comics.
Man.
And these 3, I think there's 4 of them.
Now you've done Yoshagi Yojimbo too, right?
I've done Space Usagi that I'm not crazy about. Right here, Space Usagi. That's because the original Turtles line had a Space Usagi Yojimbo from Playmates. So this is he was cybernetic. So
okay.
It's a deep cut. Like you have to know the action figure line.
It's a deep cut. Yeah.
It's a deep cut.
Howder says 200 subscriber celebration streams on the Don's channel at 7 p.m. Central. Wow.
Yeah, but I gotta crack down on these. I have a lot of them I have to color. Like these are all the Bucky ones.
And how long have you been doing the pizza rounds?
I think like 2022. Like
wow, that long? Wow,
yeah,
you must have a backlog of those things.
Yeah.
See you, Omer. Take care.
Later, guys. We'll see you later.
See you.
What are you having for dinner? You had Taco Bell last night.
I'm doing spaghetti and a pizza, so I'm gonna have another pizza round.
Oh, there you go. Shadowheart's gonna have spaghetti. Oh wow, that's cool. That looks.
This is part of that other page that I sent you the print. This is Frank and Sapo. So this is the frogs.
Oh, Elsie says he's leaving too. Keep collecting.
All right, buddy.
Is that what you meant by that, Elsie?
Yeah, I was about to jump ship as well.
Well, we don't want to
Yeah.
overstream Don's 200 subscribers, you know.
Yeah, I got to get some dinner before I jump over there. I'll probably run a little late over there. So,
Well, guys, thanks for coming on. Thanks for Paul Monsky that was on with us.
Yeah.
As well earlier. That bog's looking dope. I can't wait. Just DM me a price for that thing or whatever. I'll, we'll work it out.
We'll work it out. Yeah.
Yeah. I love it when people draw my characters and you always make them look beefy.
Yeah, I just try and make them look like, like I would buy this comic. That's always my, like, let me draw something I would like. Yeah.
Right. You wouldn't want to make him look like a wimp.
Yeah. he's got to be jacked. Like,
look, the reason I'm trying to get my characters and Momentum Versus out there is that Peter will go, you know what? This needs to be done in a pizza round. We need a Devil Flyer pizza round. We need a Pog pizza round.
Yeah.
I mean, basically, they're just huge Pogs from the 80s.
But
they're big
Devil Flyers work, like, I could work with him because he's red. Like, at least I know the red will show up on the on the pizza. Here you go. This was a Lion King Pog. Yes.
Oh wow, got a whole stack up there.
There you go.
Oh yeah, Pogs. Yeah.
That's hilarious.
Pogs came from Hawaii, right? They were on top of milk bottles originally.
I know they have a milk bottle connection. I don't know if it's Hawaii. I don't know the state origin.
Yeah, I heard that it was Hawaii. They had like little illustrated things. People started collecting them, and right now I'm collecting drink box little things from like Welch's and other. I'll have to show that collection. I picked up some new ones today. But I'm gonna have to put them in a big box where they're all kind of sandwiched, where I can show them all at once. They're not. Otherwise, I'd be going here. Look at this, kind of like you do on the rounds.
Super cool. I love it. Oh, baby.
That's getting me depressed. Peter, you want to say the magic words? Keep collecting, and we'll get out of here.
Yeah, how about this? Keep collecting, but keep reading. Like, there you go. How about that? Can we collect less comics and read more comics? How about that?
I think we can. Sure.
Right. Like I get it. Like, like we want nice collections, but even if you have a collection, read more of your own comics.
I mean, that's nice. Heavy metal.
Oh, the heavy metal. Yeah. That's like a bootleg, right? That's like a third party.
No, it's Toy Biz, isn't it? Or is it Fig Biz?
Fig Biz.
Oh, yeah, maybe it is a knockoff.
Dude, isn't that crazy though? Like this is how good the third party is right now. Yeah, I'm not even familiar with these. With the zombie from the B-52.
Wow.
And that's Nelson.
That's awesome. Yeah, Nelson. Yeah, Nelson. That's all. Yeah, right. Now he calls him, but he knocks on the thing, and yeah.
I didn't even know that they had a knockoff here from Fig. That's wild.
That's crazy though, right? Like that's the world we live in, where that is unlicensed, right? Like with the metallic.
Oh yeah,
metallic logo.
Mm-hmm.
That is just cool. That's beyond cool.
Yeah, those are always great.
Just special order. I got an email and I took a chance and I just worked on it, man. And
it's sad though, with her character, you almost want the flying pterodactyl. With her.
Yeah, you do. Yeah. Like I'm surprised no one did one's done like a retro Tarna with that pterodactyl. Yeah. To where like she would click into them like like the Tauntaun where like like the back there's like a trap door for the back. But yeah.
I like that you went all grungy and instead of the two twigs you just got like you went for it, man. They're two branches coming out of his head. Oh, you erased part of that one. That was in pencil.
Yeah. But yeah, I'll go back and forth with some of the whiteout too on this to kind of make some of the speckle pop and just do little bit more detail too. So
keep collecting, keep reading.
Yeah, keep reading.
Keep reading more comics. Go over to, a lot of good streams tonight, but yeah, go at least pop into the Don's 200 subscribe celebration. We're trying to get 500 subscribers over here. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe to the channel.
Please.
It'll help a lot to get monetized. They say so, try
You will
that.
get $2.
Absolutely. Subscribe to Acapats. He's got his own. He may do a stream later tonight. PBR said to one of those, wow, that looks awesome. One looks awesome. So people are digging the pizza rounds. We're going to have a pizza round paint stream. Now, you do those with colored pencil and white. White out.
With these. With
what are these?
Right here, the Presto white.
See, I haven't even seen those. Have you seen those, Elsie?
So it's these, and right here, like this is everything we do. That's what you need for the pizza round, right here.
Wow. Okay.
That's it.
Sharpie. Yeah.
Yeah. Like you want them to be fresh because the corrugation shreds the point relatively.
Yeah, and it absorbs so much of that too.
Yeah. So like this one, like you kind of have to start fresh but that's a little bit too, like knowing your material. Like,
now, doesn't the oil that's on that also mess with the marker?
Yeah. Like some of the oil, the marker will like it gets like rejected.
You get all those done. You need to hit up a gallery.
Yeah.
You need to show those things in a gallery. 80s goodness or something. Would be the time.
Like there's options in Philly. Like Philly has a decent gallery scene. I thought about it. But I just don't want to talk to people.
I got it. Take care, everybody. We'll see you again tomorrow for episode 1006. This has been 1005. It's now in the can. Thank you, Peter, Paul, Omer, Elsie. You make the show.
Thank you, guys. Rock and roll.